And the keys, tempo, they time, let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Getting with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goal posts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any kid he could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry, bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest, Chris and Dev like the master, and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they run it back on the real. That's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.
We are back for real talk. Oh man, it's so good to see my guys. Wish I could watch a game tonight, but
no sport. For that.
Thank God that basketball is indoors, and Denver and Miami's air is probably clear anyway. So shouldn't have any issues there. But fellas, what's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling, Chris?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Said about yesterday, another parlay down the drain.
I know you ain't bet on Michael Porter Jr.
Man, I can't wait to talk about it. You know I did. You should have saw me in the chat the way I was talking about Michael Porter Jr.
Man.
Listen, it's fine. Him and Gabe Vincent really let me down. Gabe Vincent, I'm not mad at him as much as Michael Porter Jr., but I'm gonna hold my tongue until we get to that first topic to really go off.
Okay, I was gonna say you might want to target Braun. His numbers should be low. Seemed like he might be filling in. He might steal a game or two. But yeah, man. Dev, what's going on with you? We see a lot of purple back there.
You already know, man. It's the line of the purple back here, whether it's the golden purple, whether it's black and purple.
Hey.
You know what I mean? But me chilling, man, grinding. Always trying to elevate the podcast as always. You feel me? My 107th thought is out right now.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Go ahead and give me some views. Subscribe to the YouTube page and some more. You feel me? Also, you know what I mean? Y'all can go ahead to all my Ravens fans, man. Go ahead and check out my other podcast, At the Bank, a Baltimore Ravens podcast. Well, I'm spitting all Ravens.
When you start that?
Had it for a nice little minute now.
I ain't heard about that. Okay. They're working. I love to see it, man. I just love to see it. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on in the world today. Shout out to Zion and all of his women.
All right, listen. I was going to talk about it, but Ray brought it up. It got worse today.
It got worse again. I just saw a new girl that popped out.
Listen, man.
So hold on. Do y'all really think Zion is out here?
Yes.
Maybe that's why he can't stay healthy, because he don't take a break.
They dropping pictures and videos.
This last one is him face down, sleep.
Her in the Zion Williamson shirt at the Lakers game.
She's sitting courtside. This video of her courtside. Her video. He just, I gotta put more respect on my young boy name.
How many games did he play this year? 29.
He had more than 29 women. And she talking about he bought somebody a Cullinan. Where's my Bentley Bentayga? Like she said they ain't have $100K to her name and you bought him a Rolls Royce. What you doing? Like, they just Nick Cannon figured out how to do it right. He found women that could work together in harmony and in unity.
We're not comparing what Nick Cannon and Zion's doing.
I'm saying
Zion's out here.
He got one girl pregnant. Nick got 10, and he got less drama than Zion.
Because Zion's being young. He not. It's not like he planning out his life right now. He's
Ain't y'all
having
about the
fun.
same age, Chris?
Exactly.
Man, like this Zion Ja 1-2 draft picks gotta go down as a legendary 1-2.
Oh, we getting a
Legendary.
30-30 from this one.
Legendary 1-2. On the court, amazing. Off the court, just as good.
Man, like
I see why Zion was doing that Starry drink commercial.
Zion was in them commercials, so I get it. He knew what was coming. I hope he wise up though, because he is not picking, the highest of quality caliber women.
No.
There's a way you got to play the game. Like I seen Shaq run around with Brittany Renner. Like, so
is it true that one of these females are a adult star maker?
Yep.
Self-proclaimed. It's available for consumption if you want. You can go yourself.
I'm just asking because like when I see the rumors, I was like, oh, this can't be true. Not Zion. No. And then the stuff just kept adding on. I was like, oh, maybe it might be true then, But now that y'all sitting here just spilling the tea,
And this the funny part. This is not funny at all, actually. The unfortunate part of this is you hear stuff like Ime Udoka, and you kind of say, what all was really happening? Well, you hear about Ja and some of the other stuff that might have been going on. The problem is he messed with women that will talk. And he obviously, because this all started because he posted the picture of a pregnancy, which should be celebrated. But clearly you didn't have your ducks in a row or your stuff in order, because all these chicks were surprised. Like one chick, he was supposed to be moving out to see him, to live with him. The other one, she mad because she like, I didn't even ask for stuff from you and you couldn't be honest with me. I guess I was just a plaything. Like they big mad. So this was true when he said that he tried to move another girl down to New Orleans and stuff like this. According to the Snapchats, they look convincing and
still on Snapchat from them Duke days, man. When would he learn?
And here's the thing, like he has a PR team. I would think he's the face of the franchise.
Why is Duke players always getting caught up in some sex scandal, man?
They horny young men.
First it was the lacrosse team. Now was Zion. God,
it's just not good.
So nobody taught my man how to write an NDA.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. There's just so many holes in this. Like there was holes in the condom or something. Like, what are we doing? Like, we gotta be smarter as men. Every time I see the draft, I'd be like, oh yeah, a bunch of young black millionaires. Yeah, more black millionaires. And y'all just giving the money right back. Like we've seen the postings of how much the taxes of Jamal Murray and Jokic, how much money they losing. The last thing you need is this.
You see, they ain't tricking that money away.
Like, it's going to Uncle Sam. So you imagine Zion's in a similar boat on a rookie deal. No, he got the max extension.
No, he got that max.
But guess what? Now she got pregnant. The max is about to kick in. You were supposed to get pregnant on the mini contract, so your payments are less. You just hit a whole different stratosphere. So, shout out to her. She played the game the right way. And
man, shout out to Zion, man. I can't wait to see you on the court next year, man. Let's shut all this. Let's just. I don't feel like talking. Remember, what did I put? This is only a big deal because we don't even remember. I can't even remember how Zion plays the game with basketball. But I can remember that he's that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. So he needs to stay healthy. He needs to get his head on right.
When was the last time he was healthy?
Back in South Carolina when he was doing 360 windmills in high school. Now listen.
That was 4-5 years ago.
We need to see a healthy Zion on the court because I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not going there. But all this great basketball, I can't remember. I cannot remember how Zion plays basketball anymore.
Is Zion a top 50 player right now?
I don't even know.
Oh
Like
man,
this is a number 1 draft pick that got a max extension.
And he's max worthy, but when you play 29 games, you're forgettable.
yo,
and he looked good early.
we lucky
but-
this is a family oriented show. Because it's just like so many things that just ran me through my head as y'all just talking, man. It's just can't believe he's playing the wrong. You know, I'm not gonna say that.
And I'm a fan of Zion on the court. You know, I'm a huge fan of Zion. But right now,
And this is in New Orleans. Could you imagine if he had got traded to New York?
Oh
Listen,
man, the city that one of the city that never sleeps.
Could you
Listen,
imagine
let's just-
if the news was following him and covering him in New York?
let's just move on from Zion.
Same with Ja, for what it's worth. He lucky he in Memphis, because if he was in LA or
Just-
New York,
Yeah,
Let's
just imagine. Remember what the New York fans did to Julius Randle poster when they got booted out the playoffs. Oh man,
let's just move on from the 2019 draft class. Let's just
these young men, and the sad part is, like Ja, his dad seems to be around. Do we know is Zion? I think he has both his parents, right? They seem right.
I don't even know Zion. Or did like Zion off the court? You don't hear nothing from him
Until now,
until now.
Like,
and boy,
But wait,
listen.
there's more.
And for what it's worth, when you ain't playing, you ain't traveling with the team, you got a bunch of free time. You want some companionship. I'm not like I'm making kind of a joke of it because it's a messy situation, but the reality is most people that's rich say they be lonely and they don't really got friends and there's no one they can trust. And when you young and you hurt and he's reading the news and you're down and depressed, you know what makes a man happy when he's down? A woman. Because he can't go do hard drugs. Thank
Not
God.
the woman. It's what the women have.
And that, like, we're gonna get to it, but Travis Rudolph, you got to be more careful with the women you interact with. Like, it can cost you your life, your freedom, your money, or it can help, like Savannah James, help establish you for generations to come. Life is about choices. On my podcast, I say in life, you have the power to choose. Choose wisely. Like, it matters. But we can move on from this and choose to go to the finals, which has been quite a ebb and flow of emotions and performance. Miami can shoot really good, and they can shoot a lot of bricks. All white bricks.
The brick.
house.
Hey, you see Zion, girl? No, I'm just playing.
Oh,
Whoa,
wait.
My
Keep
bad.
on going back.
My bad.
You can't do things like that. Right?
Every time I try to leave, they just keep pulling me back. I'm trying, Zion. I'm sorry. But yeah, Joker, I said it before. Chris, to your point, Joker's going to win Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I think by all accounts, he will be the best player in the world. But if he don't win Finals MVP, are you here to say that if Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo wins Finals MVP, they're better than Joker?
Listen,
Chris, this is your mess that you started. This is your Zion beef right here.
Now, what I won't do is backtrack on my words. But what I will say is Joker. What I will say is Joker is the best player in the NBA. Going into the year, I was still it's Embiid. It's Embiid, best player, best center.
Did we all real quick? Did we miss this? Has he been this good? And
yes.
We just didn't know.
No, he's been this good.
30-point triple, 30, 20, 10.
I remember watching and wrote. I don't make a long story short. I remember watching, the early Nuggets when they had him and Nurkic, and then they traded Nurkic away. When you watch Nurkic over there with the Blazers, and Nurkic is a guy that injuries really killed him because he used to put up big numbers like this. But you would see Jokic, have triple doubles early. You would see what the passes he would make, the way he's able to rebound, and the way he was so unselfish. And then you would see him score sometimes, and you would say, "Why can't he do this all the time?" And we always said once he puts his passing and his scoring together, he's going to be unstoppable. So this has been said for the past 5 years. So the fact that he's doing all this now, I'm not really surprised. I think what really helped his game is the fact that he got in shape like this. I think that was something that was holding him back years ago. He's a little out of shape now. I mean, you see this dude running up the floor like he's really a guard. So if you know the game of basketball, you know, not saying that he could always put a 30-point triple doubles, but you know this dude was special for years since he came into the league. And what you're seeing right now, you're really not shocked. And he is the best player in the NBA.
And just so we're all in agreement, he's talented. He's not lucky. Because the shots he be hitting, it'd be like, that's luck. It got to be. But he hits them so consistently.
I would say that like that step back three against Anthony Davis, I'm not knocking that. But majority of his points that I see him score come from his touch inside, that pick and pop mid range, that like post up game. That post up game, no, that's skill. Like all that dominating in the post from that 15 feet in, that's skill. But I'm not about to sit up here and say that contested step back 3-pointer is something he practices every day. I'm not knocking him for it because he has a high arcing shot and he hits shots like that. But when I look at the majority of the way he gets his baskets, that mid range game and then the post, that's all skill. He's dominant.
Dev, I'll turn it over to you. Did we miss Joker? Has he been this good, or what has your takeaways been of this finals performance? And I have a follow-up question to that in a second, but go ahead.
I know I missed it. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't a Joker fan. I was the one that was coming on and said Embiid should be MVP. Embiid is the best big man. He's dominant. He imposes his will. The only thing I can really say that Embiid has over Joker is maybe the defensive dominance. Jokic,
he's a better defender for sure.
Yeah, Jokic can give you certain plays, but it's times that you be like, God, Jokic, if you just leave your feet a little bit, you would have had that block, or you can, do a couple more blocks a game, you'd be a dominant defensive presence. But that's the only thing I can clearly see that Embiid has over Jokic now. It's just the defense. For us, the offense, it's no comparison. It's just none now. It's just like I said, it took me a while. Maybe because I didn't watch a lot of Denver games and I seen more Embiid, and I was fighting for Embiid to get MVP last year. But now that he swept my Lakers and and what he's just doing on a consistent basis, and now I have to see him do it every other night. It's just wow. You know what I mean? I missed it. I could be the one to say I gotta go back and backtrack and say that I gotta switch it. Jokic is the best big man in the league right now. And he might have been for the last couple of years. It was just I wasn't woke. But
we wake now.
I'm up now. So I just think I missed it. I for what Chris is saying, man, these shots that he's taking is just like, come on, dog. Nobody else. We haven't seen this since Dirk. With the one leg and the fadeaways and stuff like that. It's more of a Dirk, but it's not Dirk. It don't look. Dirk was like a nice fluid. Almost can think of a Michael Jordan fadeaway type. When Joker do it, it's like, no way, man. He ain't just shoot that off of 1 foot. You always second guess. Yeah, but shooting behind his head and stuff like that.
He got that Larry Bird art.
Yeah, so it's much respect to him, man. He, like Chris said, he is the most dominant big man in the league. Maybe the best player in the league.
Yeah, it's hard for me to, because I've seen him, and y'all know I might have been the loudest Joel Embiid for MVP. God, can't even talk. Can't even say it for no more.
Because Jokic got your tongue.
Coming out my mouth. My mouth
said, no, you can't say that.
And it's like, I remember, and I'm trying to really stay away from like recency bias, and being a prisoner of the moment and all that. But I'm just blown away, like absolutely blown away. Like I remember what D-Wade did in the finals. I remember what KD and Steph have done in the finals. I remember LeBron in Miami in the finals. I remember Dirk in the finals. But what he's doing right now, I don't know if I've seen anything, because y'all know how I am. I'm a finals person. I'm a championship person. What do you do at the greatest moment? Mm-hmm. And what he is doing on the highest level against what I think is a very good team, not the most talented, but a good, deep team, there's nothing they can do with him. Like, nothing. Like, when they lose, he's still scoring 40 and 15. It's like Shaq versus the Pacers back in the day. And but he had Kobe, and Jamal Murray has showed up for 2 games, 2.5. He wasn't terrible in game 2, but he wasn't good enough. But 2 guys, 30-point triple doubles, and it was a cheap triple double. I know he stayed in the game and got the rebound late, but I don't care. People do that all the time.
At least he didn't throw it off the backboard to himself.
Yeah, the wrong basket. Like, this is impressive. I've been just astonished. I've been mesmerized, and he get it in such a unconventional way. Like, it don't even be seeming like he putting up them numbers. Like, I remember, I think it was the Lakers series. He had like 8 rebounds in the first 8 minutes. It's like, I didn't even see that.
10 rebounds in the first quarter.
It's
a triple double in the second quarter. Like,
it's almost silly when you think, because I know Russ. Russ had a bunch of triple doubles, but it felt like I saw the triple double happening. With him, it's like you look up and it's like, God dang, he been cooking.
It's because Jokic's game is so quiet but so loud, and Russ' game was so loud. Like, he dunk in your face, he yawning, he running around ultra aggressive. It's just Jokic is at his own pace. He's so dominant in the post. He doesn't have to do 1,000 moves to score. You know, he's already in the basket, so he's going to get 5 offensive rebounds doing tips. You know, a DHO at Jamal Murray, that's 3 assists right there. Pass to Murray in the corner, that's 5 assists right there. 2 back cuts to Aaron Gordon. He got 7 assists in like 7 minutes. It's just so effortless.
Miami's running zone. They running man.
Don't get me started on Miami, man.
Like, I'm just trying to appreciate this in the moment. And I think I said it on here, but it's really, really, really early. This series can obviously change really, really quick. But if Denver do what Denver's supposed to do, they could be good for a really long time.
Well, when I look at this Denver team, nobody. When I have to say, if you know basketball, because there's so many casual fans that when they saw the Suns come together, they just automatically thought the Suns was winning. And don't get it twisted. We saw them get Kevin Durant. We respected them, but we knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk. You know, when the Nets came together, you know, we respected them, knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk because there's things to play. This Nuggets team, we saw them, you know, when they put together Aaron Gordon, we saw the talent they acquired, and their only problem was injuries. When Jamal Murray went down, because in the bubble, we thought, okay, you know, this team has something here. They need to build. They're young. Jamal Murray went down. That was a setback. But when you looked at this team on paper, when you saw when Jamal Murray is coming back, you knew they were going to be talented out west. So, and they're all young again. So I'm not shocked that they're in the finals right now. Not going to be shocked if they win. I'm not going to be shocked if they're, you know, Jokic to get a couple championships in the next couple of years because they're all young and entering their primes. And they're still waiting for a guy like MPJ to come to his own. They're still waiting for their bench. I know that's
speaking of him.
They're still waiting for their bench, you know, to get one. So this team isn't even at their peak yet, and they're already, you know, on the cusp of winning the finals if everything goes how they want to go. So not saying this is the new dynasty because we're not about to do what the Kansas City Chiefs did, call themselves a dynasty after winning one championship. But you're going to have to respect them as saying they're the best team in the league if they win this year.
But you're going to have to kind of look at it, though. Like Ray said, look how young they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you just take Jokic and Murray out the equation, they get even younger other than Aaron Gordon and Reggie Jackson.
And KCP. He been
you know what I mean? Because the one guy that should be looking over his shoulder, and I said this in the group chat yesterday, MPJ.
Yeah.
He has to look over it for that young guy, Christian Brown, to come out and did what he did. He showed no fear. He showed no hesitation. He didn't care if Jimmy was on him or Bam was on him. He was he was making the good plays. He was making the back cuts. He's doing everything that Michael Porter Jr. should have been doing. When you shoot from 1 from 10 from that 3-point line, why must you still sit back there and shoot for? There's other games that you can impact. There's other ways you can impact in the game. That was my downfall for Jason Tatum. They look for their offense, and once their offense is blazing, they the best thing smoking. But when they having struggles, they don't find other ways to impact the game. They don't want to play defense. They don't want to be the guy that's the assist guy or run the offense through, but you might not be the scorer. It's just like once those guys are not shooting well, they're just saying, nah, I'm gonna just keep jacking and hopefully it'll fall. And like I said, MPJ is on notice. And I think he needs to watch over his shoulder with that young guy, because he's showing that doesn't matter about the big stage. If you put me in, coach, I'm giving you what you asking me to do. I'm not doing too much. I'm not trying to play hero ball or nothing. I'm just out here trying to hoop.
Well, I would say with that, one, MPJ does have to play better. And that's on one of my things for when we're going to talk about adjustments coming up. But when I look at Christian Brown, he's a guy that it feels like he has no expectations on him. You know, not saying that, you know, he can just go out and make any single mistake, but he's not a guy, no disrespect, that was on the Heat scouting report like a Michael Porter Jr. was.
Right.
So
right.
he's coming in the floor and he's saying, listen, as long as I don't make more mistakes, I can go 100%. If I'm going 100%, I'm doing something right. So he has no you know, expectations on him whether Michael Porter Jr. does or not. He needs to play better. And one thing Brown's doing, which was kind of what Martin's been doing this whole playoffs, was giving them unexpected life. When you got a guy coming off the bench that can completely shock and rejuvenate your team and shock the other team, then that's a plus for you. And that's what Brown's doing right now. And Michael Porter Jr. does need to get it together, because his role, to me, should be by far that third leading scorer on that team, because he can do more than shoot a three-pointer. I think sometimes he limits himself. He limits himself.
I haven't seen it in a while.
In a while, because he's limited himself to just being a three-point shooter. But he was a guy that if he didn't hurt his back in Missouri, he was going to be the number one pick in the draft, because he can score the ball. And right now, he's just like kind of when J.R. Smith went to Cleveland. When he was with the Knicks, you saw J.R. Smith scoring at all three levels. He went to Cleveland. He bought into that role a little too much. I'm looking at Michael Porter Jr. I think he needs to be a guy that needs to be a threat on three levels, because he's 6'10" and he's athletic. Why can't you cut to the basket on the back cut and jump over somebody? Why can't you get to the free throw line? You know, you're just standing at the three-point line. To me, that's a waste of time. You know, even KCP is doing more than standing at the three-point line. So right now, you know, we talked about in the chat, if Michael Porter Jr. comes out shooting 1 for 4, I don't see him playing the whole second half at all. I see it being Bruce Brown. I see it being Bruce Brown, Chris Brown, and Jeff Green, and maybe Reggie Jackson. But I wouldn't be surprised if he benches MPJ for the whole second half if he comes out like that again.
Chris Brown come on the floor and say, "See if you can run it."
I'm saying, man, he making the name look good right now.
No, I'm definitely with that. So a couple things. And I don't know. It looks like, I don't know, for whatever reason the comments are not popping up. Because it looks like Damien's been in the comments, but it's not showing for anything for me to show. So I just happen to go to up for me either. I went to YouTube and I see he's in here, so I don't know why that's showing that. So Damien, if you're watching, I do see you commenting, but it's not letting me put nothing up. So I don't know what's going on with that. But my 2 cents. I was going back and looking, and again, it's early still. But if I'm Miami, I am nervous, because I go back and I look at the box score. We talked about Michael Porter Jr. 2 points, 21 minutes. KCP, 0 of 3 from 3, 6 points, 28 minutes. Aaron Gordon, for what it's worth, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 34 minutes. Bruce Brown, 29 minutes, 5 points. Jeff Green, 17 minutes, 4 points. They shot 27.8% from 3, and they won by 15 in Miami. That's not good. And that's with Jimmy giving you 28, Bam giving you 22 and 17. Now, that wasn't the most efficient, but Gabe Vincent, 2 of 10. Max Strus, 1 of 7. Kyle Lowry was 4 of 8. Caleb Martin was 4 of 9. Duncan Robinson was 3 of 6. That's not bad. And you got blown off the court at home. That game wasn't that close until the end. So I don't really know where Miami turns. Obviously, you would say shoot better, but they shot 31% from 3. They shot better from three than Denver. So I think Miami's home crowd is a disappointment and always has been. It is not a home court advantage. Everybody's too cool for school in their fancy clothes and ready to go out and party all night. And when the team struggles, they don't do anything to give them life. And I think at this point, Tyler Herro should come back. But if you don't come back after game four, I think you're done. Like, I don't think you show up on the road in altitude and think that's the game to come back on. So I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I think I picked Denver 4-1. I feel a lot more confident in that now than I did at the end of game 2. But Miami got some figuring out to, and I think Jimmy Butler spoke to, do we want it or not? We can't have this kind of effort. So I think they will come out with more effort. Will that translate to better defense? I don't know. Will that translate to higher shooting? I don't know. Can Miami play at a level high enough to win 3 out of the next 4 games? I don't know. But it's looking tough. But speaking of which, that will require some adjustments. So Chris, I'll kick it to you. What kind of adjustments do you see Miami making coming out of game 3?
Let me not. I'm gonna try my best not to rant here, but one adjustment, obviously, it should be obvious. Every time Jokic is on the court, Bam should be on the court. For one, Jokic dominates everybody else, and at least on the offensive side, Bam gives Jokic some trouble. Another adjustment is no way that I'm sitting Jimmy Butler at the start of the fourth quarter. This is the finals. When their 2 best players are playing 45 and 44 minutes, when you look at, Butler and Bam, you say 40 to 41, they're playing a lot too. No, they need to match the minutes of Jamal Murray, and they need to match the minutes of Jokic. Another adjustment I'm going to have, I can't even call it an adjustment, but they need Tyler Herro. I saw a lot of people outside of Bam, or everybody basically outside of Bam and Jimmy Butler struggle to get their own shot. Gabe Vincent was in foul trouble, so I can't really be too mad at him. He never was able to find a rhythm. Strus, you saw the playmaking he had in the first quarter, then he went quiet. So I don't know what's going on with him, but the hype that we have for Strus, I'm not saying he's getting humbled in the finals, but it shows that good defense is negating his offensive play. Duncan Robinson might have to play more, because right now he's being more consistent and more efficient than Strus. So I would honestly look to play Duncan Robinson more. I would honestly play Highsmith more as well. He's giving you some wing defense and wing athleticism. And then Kyle Lowry is doing what Kyle Lowry does, but he needs to hit some shots. And at the end of the day, this Miami team, 31% from the three-point line isn't good enough. You live and die at the three-point line, you need to hit your shots. So yeah. Gabe Vincent, you need to get to your spots more. Max Strus, you need to take more threes. 4 isn't enough at this point. They both need to combine for 15-plus three-point attempts. That's the only way they're going to win, because Jimmy Butler is the only guy that seems to get his own shot whenever he wants to, and he's still being passive. So right now, Miami needs to look in the mirror, and he's still being passive. And you see, he only had 4 assists, but he's passing up so many open shots, shooting 11 for 24. Bam, 7 for 21. Miami needs to get it together. They need to be more aggressive on both ends of the court. Whatever video that Spo showed them going into Game 7, they need to watch it again, because it's time for Miami to wake up, because this is a must-win for Miami. They lose this game, I'm sorry, they're losing to Denver. So if I'm Spo, on Friday, Bam and Jimmy are playing 45 minutes. No ifs, ands, or buts. They're playing for as long as Jamal and Jokic are on the court. My 2 stars wanted to be on the court, and may the best team win.
I'm with that. I'm definitely with that. The other thing I would say is, and I don't know if I said it again, Bam has impressed me. I've been critical of him. Bam has been everything and more than I expected out of him. So I got to give credit where credit is due. Now he can't do nothing with Joker.
It's funny the people say that, man, because this is average Bam to me. But I'm a digress. I'm a digress.
Okay. I've liked what I've seen, so I wanted to give him that. Dev, what kind of adjustments do you see Miami making or having to make going forward?
Jimmy gonna have to stop being so damn passive. It's like once you get 2 feet in the paint, shoot the ball. I just don't care about it being blocked or you shoot the damn ball, man. You is killing me. Like, golly, it's like it seems like I'm watching like one of my favorite players, man, and you right there, you body these guys up. You be bodying KCP, you body Chris Brown, you bodied all these guys to get them in the paint. There was only one person that kind of gave you a little trouble from getting in the paint, and that's Aaron Gordon. But you do all these picks and screens that Aaron Gordon don't be on you, but you still look to pass the ball when Schroot's and them is still shooting terrible, just terrible. It's like if you're a leader, you're a guy, because that's who Jimmy Butler is to Miami. He is the guy, and if he can't be if you're not being aggressive, what makes you think the other team, your teammates, is going to be aggressive?
It's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's luckily Bam is have this one mindset. I don't know where he got this mindset from, but luckily Bam is having this mindset, because if Bam wasn't playing the way he is, this would have been 4. They wouldn't have snuck one out of Denver. So the adjustment they need, like Chris said, you got to put Highsmith. You got to start using bodies now. If you're going to give Butler and Bam breaks, then you're gonna have to put in some other guys that's willing to put some high pressure, like Highsmith. I remember we was on the show and we kept asking, who is this Highsmith guy? Where did he come from? Why is he? Look how he's pressuring up Murray.
I think he's from Baltimore too, Dev, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a possibility. You know what I mean? But it's just you're gonna throw the whole kitchen sink at the Denver Nuggets, man. You're gonna have to throw it all. Throw Highsmith, like you said, add Duncan Robinson and more minutes, because if Schrootz is not giving you the percentage shooting that you need, I say him and Duncan Robinson need to battle it out for minutes to see who's going to be that guy. You know what I mean? But you just keep leaving the same formula, and Denver already hit. Denver already know what to do now. You know what I mean? They used to that zone now. They kind of know how to break the zone. So you're going to have to throw a little bit more, something different. You know what I mean? I think throwing some of these interchangeable players, Highsmith, Duncan Robinson, and I ain't calling him Tyler Herro. I seen this guy work out yesterday. If y'all didn't see him dribble the ball and try to shoot the ball, he looked timid. Don't put him in. I'm trying to tell y'all, he's gonna be out there for cardio.
He's not ready.
He is not ready. You might as well let him come back next year. But I think that's the adjustments Miami gonna have to need, because like Chris said, if Denver get this one, that's it. Denver ain't gonna let you come back to Denver. It's still another one.
So I'm gonna ask a follow-up
real quick, Ray. Real quick. He's from Baltimore. He went to Archbishop High School, Hayward Highsmith.
Hey.
Oh man, Archbishop not even open. That school not even. No, I'm thinking of something else. That school's still open.
I was about to say that was fast. So let's ask a different question, because I agree with a lot of what y'all saying. Is it simply a talent discrepancy, or is Mike Malone outcoaching Eric Spoelstra? Dev, I'll ask you.
I'm gonna say talent, because we've been saying it since last year when Jimmy missed that 3-pointer. If they had another guy, things would be a little bit more easy for Butler. And I think when you play with a bunch of role players, you know what I mean, and they excel their role. Caleb Martin, we didn't expect him to be like that in the last couple of rounds. Schrootz, maybe, you know what I mean. Duncan Robinson kind of changed me a little bit. You know what I mean? He played okay. He ain't played up to that contract level yet. But Bam, like we keep saying, Bam impressed me. Bam really showed up, but we don't consider Bam as being that second star. You know what I mean? We consider Bam maybe being that third star, maybe if Miami can find somebody that can come down there and help Jimmy out. So I just think that, your role players is only going to give you but so much of their role. You know what I mean? They're not the star players. So I just think that Miami role players is just they gassed out. They over exceeded what their expectations was, in my opinion.
Chris?
Me personally, I have to say both. Talent is definitely a huge factor right now. Like when you look at on paper the Nuggets starting lineup, you got Aaron Gordon, who's a lottery pick, who right now, honestly, Aaron Gordon can definitely average 15 points in this league, but he's buying into his role perfectly. And I have to give him a salute because when he was with the Magic, he was looked at as a third star, and right now he's just buying into his role perfectly. When I look at MPJ, he's another guy that can score 15 points. On talent, I mean, on paper, they're way more talent. But also, I look at what Malone is doing. I feel like he's making better adjustments. I feel like he's putting out better lineups. He's utilizing his players better. And again, when I talk about utilizing your players better, that was a must-win game. Game 3s are must-win games. And I saw him ride with his guys. And I looked over there, and I saw at it was a minute 30 left. You're down 10. Jimmy Butler's still not in the game, even for a late game run. I saw you at one point. You were down 14 going into the fourth. You got it down to 12. Then you didn't put Jimmy Butler in until you were down 16. I don't understand why you're not going with your guys. I don't care how good a lineup is playing. At the end of the day, Jimmy Butler, he's the leading scorer of that team. He's the only guy that can really get his own shot off when he wants to. There are times when Spo used to just, I don't know if it's Jimmy's gas or I don't know about this whole lineup and when he wants to put Jimmy back in. But to me, I look at Malone. Whenever there's a seemingly threat that Miami's going to make a run, he hurries up and he puts Jokic or he puts Murray back in. And I don't see him doing that with Jimmy Butler. I see him doing it with Bam. Love Bam. But Bam's not a Jokic. Bam's not super aggressive on offense. He's not, the best playmaker. He's good. But at the end of the day, you need to go with both. And so right now, as talent, but I'm not. I got to give it to Malone for the coach edge right now. I saw game 2. We saw Spo make an adjustment. Game 3, Malone made an adjustment. Hopefully, game 4. If Spo makes another adjustment, game 4, then I'm going to say it's all up to talent. But until then, right now, to me, it's both.
Woo! Mike Malone's out coaching Eric Spoelstra. It's really simple to me. And even in the way in which I see them buying in, the one thing that I really have a problem with that Mike Malone got to get together, they got to stop fouling jump shooters and three-point shooters. That is coaching. That is lack of awareness. That is just a gap in knowledge or judgment. That got to get fixed ASAP because that's going to hurt them. And Jamal Murray might have got away with a flagrant foul at the end of that game that Eric Spoelstra did not.
Elbow.
Did not.
Oh, yeah, no, that was major. That was
way
major.
The NBA is refereed.
That was major.
There's no doubt. I think that's a flagrant one.
100%.
And then after that, Bam, it missed like a mid-range dump shot and the game was over.
Yeah.
But that was Miami also downfall too. They missed a lot of free throws. They had less turnovers, but they left a lot of points on that floor yesterday.
Let's go to it right now. I could tell you how many free throws they missed.
And why he's pulling that. So for me,
they missed 4 free throws.
You said only 4?
Only 4?
Only 4.
It felt like more yesterday.
I know Aaron Gordon missed 2 on one foul.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon's 1 for 4. Aaron Gordon and really the Nuggets.
I'm talking about Miami.
The Nuggets were 22 for 27, and Miami was 15 for 19. Bam was 8 for 10.
That's good.
I think it might have just been critical free throws then.
That's what it probably was.
But for me, you say the talent. And so what I do is if I take a step back, obviously number 1 is Joker, best player on the floor. Mm-hmm. I can get if I give you Jamal Murray at 2, Bam and Jimmy's right behind him at 3 and 4. And so then the next players between Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, I don't think there's a huge difference between MPJ, KCP, Braun, and Bruce Brown. Like, I don't think there's just this gap in talent.
I gotta disagree. I have to disagree.
What? Based on what?
If you ask me, would I rather have MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, versus what? Gabe Vincent,
Max Strus,
Caleb
Martin, and I guess that's 3. Leave them 3.
Yeah, so one, I'm looking at 6'10" and 6'10", right? That's a huge.
He ain't even grabbing boards.
Whoa, who's not grabbing boards?
MPJ grabbing a bunch of boards?
Yes, he is. 7 boards in 21 minutes. He had double-digit boards. He's averaging like 8 rebounds in the playoffs.
Okay, I'll live with that. That's solid. I can't argue with that.
The reason why is because, like, Aaron Gordon to me is consistent. Bruce Brown is consistent. The only one I can throw my hat up on is MPJ, but I think they're upside.
Bruce Brown played 25 minutes and had 5 points and 2 rebounds.
He played his role.
He played his role in them 3
That's
blocks.
That's not a good role.
In them 3 blocks.
That's his role.
That's his role. I know. I know what I'm going to get out of 9 times out of 10. I know what I'm getting every night from this whole playoffs. 2 out of 3 of those guys. Caleb Martin. He first good game this playoffs. I mean, first good game this finals.
What happened to him? He was like the MVP last series.
It was like once they took him out the starting lineup, he just faded away.
Not even. He started game 1. He has they said he's sick, but this is the Caleb Martin I was used to.
He's sick, all right.
It's the Caleb Martin that I'm used to. Not saying he's a scrub, but him scoring 20, like he's been down because he was so high. I see him making shots tougher. He's taking, you know how you got a Devin Booker and he's comfortable with, okay, he does his move to get in rhythm. It might be a tougher shot, but he's comfortable with that. I'm seeing Caleb Martin do that instead of taking the easier shot. That's not your game. Slow down. Yes, you had a good series against Boston, but now you're making life difficult for yourself. Max Strus, 2 bad games so far in the finals.
But the game he was on, they won.
Yeah.
And without him, I don't think they win. I haven't felt that way about MPJ yet.
Without him, you don't think they win? I could say without Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown.
Gordon, I'll give you. Brown, I'm not giving you that either. I think they could.
He's the only good person off the bench.
Nah, Brown's off the bench.
He had 1 good game.
That was one opportunity.
He only had 2 opportunities.
I see what you're saying. It's hard to argue with role players versus role players, but my personal preference, I'm taking Denver's role players over Miami.
Okay.
And the impact that they can bring.
The other thing I think that MPJ will do himself a great service, and I think this speaks to the Jimmy point. I think Jimmy's tired. Jimmy been carrying this team through this playoffs
all season. There ain't no playoff.
And he don't really get easy shots. Like, he got to work to get into the paint, into the lane. They don't run a lot of great offensive sets that gets him a lot of easy open jumpers and layups. And I think with Aaron Gordon defending him, and this is where I think MPJ has to take a role. I remember a long time ago, I watched the Thunder play the Lakers. And when Kevin Durant had to guard Kobe, his length was just made it more difficult. Kobe's Kobe. But Michael Porter Jr. at least be long. Like, you don't even got to try entirely hard. Just use your length. And so I think if he can really say, hey, my jumper's not going, I'm about to lock in defensively. I am going to do everything I can to make Jimmy Butler's life as miserable as possible.
Now I was with you 100% until you named Jimmy Butler. Because Aaron Gordon is doing a fabulous job right now. Jimmy Butler, the length might be the same, but he's strong, so he can bang with Jimmy.
Just real quick, I'm not saying replace Aaron Gordon. I'm saying when Aaron Gordon's not, because that's what we saw.
Oh, it be the number 2 guy. Oh, okay.
Aaron Gordon didn't guard Jimmy Butler. Jimmy was cooking everybody.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm saying instead of putting Jamal Murray on Jimmy Butler,
it should be MPJ.
I can hide Jamal Murray. MPJ, go get him. And you can't stop. I'm not saying stop him, but you can make him
some tough shots.
Make him work. I think that needs to be his role in this series at this point. And if he hits some shots, we'll take the offense. But clearly we've seen we can win without you scoring. We've been in every game, and you ain't really been scoring great or efficient in any of them. So
he hasn't been playing since the Lakers game, in my opinion.
So if he can take on that role and save Jamal Murray some energy and make Jimmy work that much harder, I think this gets even uglier faster. and it's a lot harder to pass around that length. So that's the adjustment I would like to see for Denver. Michael Porter Jr., you are a max player. Earn your money on defense. If the shot's not going, figure something else out. The great players, when the shot's not falling, they still find a way to impact the game. And if you want to be and take that next step, you got to do something different. If I'm Miami, I don't really know. I agree with aggressiveness, but I don't know how much more you can run Jimmy because he can be out there, but he still played 41 minutes. So could I give him 4 more? Yeah, but what do those minutes look like? Are those Jokic minutes or are those MPJ type minutes? Are those Bam minutes or those Udonis Haslem minutes? Are you just out there?
You always gotta find a way to bring.
Hey, y'all saw UD get in the game? Y'all saw the shot? Did y'all see the shot he took?
He took that one shot. I thought it was going in for a minute.
That thing barely hit the other side of the rim. He's so trash. His hair trash. His game trash.
Wait. Come on, Ray. What are we doing?
What do you want me to do?
Why
They put this mess in front of me.
But you gotta call him trash.
Did you see it?
Listen, I'm not judging that man. How
Chris,
old he
if you was out, if y'all was at an open gym and he came on the court and did that, what would you say to your teammate?
Yo, we gonna listen, man. Next play.
Yeah, okay. You would be like, next, if we lose, get him off my team. We're not running it back with that guy.
Yeah,
like, we didn't even want to shoot. He was like, what do I do?
What do Udonis Haslem do to deserve this strap?
Right.
Listen,
he's just not good.
We're not judging his basketball career no more.
What did his hair got to do with anything?
It's symbolic of his play. It's a mess.
Let's just move on.
Some things you just got to quit, and he's trying to quit. He's on his way out. This is retire. He's going to retire the hair, retire the career, retire your number. You'll have Udonis Haslem Day. They'll give him some day, somewhere, and he'll get a key to the city, and he'll probably work in the front office. I'm good with all that. I'm simply saying, don't put this man in front of my TV and make me have to watch this mess.
I just don't know. I just don't know no more, Dev. I don't.
I don't know this guy no more either, man.
And Eric, you know better. And speaking of which, UD and Heisman have got the same amount of minutes last game. That's a problem to me. That shouldn't happen.
First thing you said, I agree with. Well, second thing, technically.
And so I think there's a lot of opportunity. Like, imagine if DeAndre Jordan would have got out there. I would probably say the same thing.
No, I'd be happy to see DJ out there.
Like Reggie Jackson, it was good to see him get in. He played 1 minute and
he got in.
Yeah, remember I said he got in and okay.
Yeah, so, when I looked up, I didn't see him on the court. I was like, dang, did I miss it?
Jamal Murray got them quick breathers, but so I don't know if you saw the shot he took. But that was a shot like I know this is gonna be the only shot I'm gonna take. I'm gonna
get it up.
I'm gonna get it up. It was the end of the quarter shot. Like 35, 38 feet.
Has he played in the finals before, Reggie Jackson?
No.
What team?
He made no
team, was he?
Nah, he wasn't. He was on playoff runs with them, but not the finals run.
So I
remember he showed up big against the Grizzlies. That's when
he trying to get his finals points. He trying to get them finals points. And I respect that because I would.
He trying to get a ring before Russ.
Hold on, wasn't Reggie Jackson with the Thunder when they went? OKC?
Nah,
he wasn't there yet.
James Harden was the sixth man then, not Reggie Jackson. I think he came.
Yeah, but I thought Reggie Jackson might have been on the eye, but
nah, he wasn't there yet.
Dang.
So congratulations to him. Thomas Bryant should get a ring. I'm happy for him. Jeff Green should get one. I'm happy for him.
I ain't even gonna lie. I think Jeff Green, he's one of the guys that kind of deserves a ring.
100%.
I'm a fan of Jeff Green ever since his Georgetown Hoya days, man.
Ever since I saw him battle LeBron, and then next game scored like 4 points, I was always a fan. Yeah, that was a stray for no reason. I feel like Ray saying that.
Hey, it's okay. The truth is the truth. I will also say this. I think the NBA has won big time. Like, this has been there's nothing else going on that of note. But this has been a good series. Like I know I'm kind of pooping on Miami a little bit, but I've been happy with what I've seen. It's been good basketball. It's quality basketball. It's team basketball. I still think the refs are rooting for Miami. I ain't gonna hold y'all, but that's
hell no.
I'm just telling you what I see.
Because I see Bam get fouled and it's not being called, and I see it's star treatment. And Jokic getting preferred. Jokic is up that level now where he's getting some star treatment, like Mr. Flop and Bead. But yeah, it's
that's your man's in them.
Oh, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not saying I switched up on them, but now I was always the Sixers fan. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I was never delusional fan, and I still hate the fact that he flops. So how are you 7'2", 300+ pounds? Don't even get me started. I'm just gonna say Jokic is getting some he's getting the calls that Embiid's getting. Leave it at that. I ain't gonna talk about Embiid. It's not the Embiid time. He don't deserve to be here. He don't deserve to be mentioned.
What you talking about?
Doesn't deserve to be mentioned. That's
He's not in the finals. Philly even make it to the Eastern Conference.
Yo, Philly fans, boy, when they cold hearted, boy, y'all are cold hearted.
But nobody loves their team more than Philly fans though. But we real fans. We're not gonna just say, oh, it's okay. No. I paid my hard-earned money to see you be a bum. Dang. Get it together. Okay. I'm not gonna hold you here. It's okay. Y'all lost in the second round again, man. At least y'all got to hear it. No, listen. I'm gonna talk to you like I know you.
So actually, I want to ask you that because we talked about Denver. We talked about Denver and what they potentially represent long term. If you're in the Eastern Conference, is there a team that projects out well? I feel like Milwaukee's getting old. Philly probably gonna get blown up. Boston may or may not get blown up, and they're old.
Honestly,
Brooklyn is young, but they're not really good enough.
There's no
outside of Miami, who I think can get younger easily because they'll let Lowry go. They can get younger there. Bam, Jimmy's a little old. Jimmy's a little old, but if I'm looking at the East, like. Is there anybody that we can really look at as like for the foreseeable future you're concerned about?
No. And the reason why I say no,
the Knicks are young.
No, there's nobody. So when I look at the West, it's competitive. But when I look at the East, there's too many question marks right now. So like with Boston, I don't care what nobody says. Jaylen Brown right now is a question mark. I look at Brooklyn. They're not ready to take that step yet. Yeah, they were a playoff team because of their great start, but they're not ready to take that step yet. Philly, question mark. Chicago, question mark. The Cavaliers, question mark. The Bucks, question mark. Miami, you have to give it to Miami because they're in the finals. The Hawks, question marks. There are too many question marks to me when you look at the top playoff teams. So I don't think if you ask me right now, I'm not confident in none of them except for Miami because they made it here.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland might be the only team that can probably build faster than any other Eastern team right now.
Well, that is true.
Because I don't know about Donovan Mitchell contract. We probably will have to look into that.
I think everybody's under contract, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it's not like only thing they missing is maybe depth on the bench, and
they need a wing scorer.
Yeah, you know what I mean, somebody that can. They need a third score, most definitely, because sometimes Garland go in and out. Donovan Mitchell, we know he
hard to play with Donovan Mitchell. I'm trying to tell you.
They need a 3-and-D wing. That to me sets them apart. Not a 6'4" guy because you already got two small guards. They need a 6'8" to me, a 6'7", 8 small forward that's all about defense and that can shoot a three. That to me is gonna make me confident in that team.
And I think a better bench too, because you just having LeVert.
It's bad.
You know what I mean, coming off and I think that's all we can name that's kind of a threat.
I feel like they're gonna have to move off of Allen, man.
I think one of them eventually gonna have to move.
And I would keep Mobley.
I would keep Mobley because he's more of a score threat, but I don't know. I would try to. I would keep.
It can work. It can work, But if they want to really add some more pieces, you'd have to trade off Allen. I don't think you don't want to do that.
Because that's going to kill your defense.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's going to really.
I won't hold you. I think if Mobley can develop distance on his shot, I think they can work
distance. Yeah.
I think they got to do something. Same thing I said about Atlanta. The Garland Mitchell backcourt, I just don't think is efficient enough to work in critical moments. Like they don't know how, they haven't figured it out. And I think it's a Donovan Mitchell problem personally, which is why I'm not the biggest fan. Like he's great at times, but what I've seen Jamal Murray do by being able to incorporate other people as a passer, I think Shaq said it years ago when he was in Utah. I don't think Donovan Mitchell has ever had a triple-double. Or I don't even, if I'm wrong, fact check me. I don't know if he's ever had like a double-digit assist game. Like it was some crazy stat that's like he doesn't work well with getting other people involved. And so I just don't know if you can win like that, where your primary ball handlers can't really facilitate the offense.
I'll say this. When I look at the guards he played with guys that their goal was to get others involved. Granted, that's no excuse. And I'm not saying I'm not the big Donovan Mitchell. To me, if he's not scoring, what is he doing? So I'll give you that.
They average 4.4 assists.
If he's not scoring, some could say, what is he doing? He's had double-digit assists in almost every single year he's been in the league.
Yeah, I see he had 13 against the Knicks in the playoffs.
Against the Knicks, yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
But your career average is 4.5.
Because he's not a consistent passer, right? Because again, when you look at the guards he played with Mike guys Conley. Mike Conley, Rubio. Now you're with a Garland. But to your point, him and Garland, I feel like he should be a playmaking threat as well because Garland can score. And so to my point again, sometimes when I look at the playoffs, when I look at how he was playing, if he's not scoring, what is he doing? To me, you don't have to be the guy in Utah that has to score 40 points every night in the playoffs. So maybe, to the point we just talked about with MPJ, a step in the defensive direction. Well, to me, when you're that athletic, there's no way you can't be at least the average defender. When you're uber athletic like that, all the athleticism you have on the offensive end, why can it not translate to the defensive end? Again, you don't have to be the guy with the ball in your hand 24/7. You got a playmaker. You got young guys that can score, and a Garland and a Mobley. You don't got to score 40 a night. Why can't you be at least an average defender? That to me is it's a hurt piece when I look at Donovan Mitchell. When you're that athletic, you should be able to be at least an average defender. Same thing. I got the same feeling with Zach LaVine. When you're that athletic, and you can be that athletic on offense, going left to right that fast, jumping that high. Why can't you be the same on defensive end? It's all about effort, and to me, they have questionable effort on the defensive end. So that's my issue with Donovan.
Quick question for the Cleveland Cavaliers since we on them. If Eric Spo was coaching them, or we can throw Mike Malone, any other coach that's probably a good champion coach, Steve Kerr or something in that nature, does that change Cleveland aspect now, or do we still see them as the same team?
I think it's tough, right? Because when you got coaches like that, they've been right now, if they was to insert, if they was to insert a coach with championship experience, I feel like it might be a difference. But right now, I might have to agree. I gotta think about that.
Since Eric Spoelstra, took this Miami team, not a real sexy team. They got hella unrestricted free agents, guys that was, guys that just pretty much walk-ins. Mm-hmm. And Cleveland is pretty much a team that they built from the ground up a little bit. Other than Donovan Mitchell, they pretty much been
experience. To me, it plays a factor into that. That's what I'm going to say. Coaching experience. When you throw in these guys that got so many double-digit years of coaching, I feel like Bickerstaff. I do think he's on a short leash as far as because when you got a team that, like the Hawks, when you underperform, they don't want to get rid of the new guys they just got, so they're going to fire the coach. I think they didn't oversee expectations this year. They met them, but now they got high expectations next year. So if they're not just as good or adjustments not made to this team, I do think Bickerstaff might get out of here. I just don't see what coach you bring in to replace him.
What you think, Ray?
You need a dog, and they don't have a dog, and that's why the Knicks pushed them around. What makes Miami great is they got Jimmy Butler. Like Eric Spoelstra, but Jimmy Butler pushes them to be great. Mm-hmm. I think when you look at Denver, even listening to Jokic post game, and the announcer already knew, what do you think about 30-20? I don't care. And then they talked about Chris Brown, and he said he's great. Like he's coming, like he's supportive. I look at Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's a dog. Mm-hmm. Like his comeback story is that Donovan Mitchell ain't that to me. Darius Garland ain't that to me. And I think you need that kind of player to drive when the coach ain't getting the message. Draymond can send a message even when Steve Kerr it might get stale.
Oh, he can send a message, all right.
Yes, he can. And I think when you look around the league at the talented teams, New Orleans included, teams that don't have a guy like that, CJ McCollum, he's a nice guy. Brandon Ingram, a nice guy. Zion, really nice guy. But you gotta have that thing, that grit, that determination, and I don't see it. Jokic is a second round pick. Like he didn't come in with the fanfare of the Zions and the Jaws. He had to grind to get here. Jimmy Butler had to grind to get here. Even Draymond had to grind to get here. Patrick Beverly had to grind to get here. Russell Westbrook grinded to get here. And when you have them kind of players, Paul George's, Kawhi Leonard's, Kobe Bryant's, it makes coaching so much easier. Mm-hmm. So I think, yeah, you could insert. I think the Clippers for all those years, Chris Paul is kind of that, but he was never healthy enough to really be that. Mm-hmm. I think when you don't have them kind of players, you can have great coaches, but Michael Jordan was a dog. I saw Phil with Shaq and Kobe and MJ. I don't know if Phil is as great without them kind of tenacious, I will die on this court kind of players. So I would love to see that. That's what I feel like is Phoenix's issue. DeAndre Ayton ain't him. I think Devin Booker's kind of that, but I still remember when Devin Booker said, yo, this open gym we ain't doubling. I don't know if that's the right message. I get it.
He changed. Listen. He said Devin Booker wants a triple team now,
and I think we've seen him grow. From
he got that dog in him now, though. Listen. He has that dog in him now. No. You got what he did. Look what he did to Denver. Look what he did in the finals. He got that dog in him.
Finals.
All right, finals. But look what he just did to Denver, though.
He did, but
no. Look what he just did.
I'm not convinced. I think he's close.
Oh,
I think he's close, but I'm not stamping him. Jason Tatum, I'm not stamping him yet.
The thing about Devin Booker
Steph Curry, stamp.
Devin Booker,
except for that last game,
he forces his offense to me sometimes. I feel like he don't let his offense flow into him. Yeah,
that's
just
coaching and no point guard.
Because he can come down and just jack it up.
Phoenix has a lot of issues.
47 points on 80% from the field and 60% from the three.
I'm not. That's not.
My God.
Being talented and being a dog ain't the same.
He has. Listen, this is what I'm.
You know what else I'm gonna add? You know what a dog really come out on defense. That's when you really show me what you about. Most everybody I named, when it comes to locking down on defense,
I'm glad you said most because I was about to talk about one guy who's a better defender now.
But
Curry.
But the effort's there.
The effort's there now.
Steph there now. Bad rap, but we don't got to talk about that here. That I just don't see that. I've never seen Donovan Mitchell say, "You know what? I'm going to get him."
And that's my problem. When you're that athletic, how are you that sorry of a defender?
Zach LaVine, you named him. Those are guys that have the athleticism that don't say, I need the best player. Giannis, for what it's worth, and I'm not. Giannis is a dog, but the fact he refused to step up and just say what a coach said, I'm not gonna do it. Nah. When they was in the huddle, LeBron, they was trying to run a play for Kyrie. Scratch that. Like sometimes you got to be that guy, and I think that's what Cleveland and a lot of these Eastern Conference teams are missing. Marcus Smart is a dog. Now he's dirty, but I trust him.
But he's not that guy on the offensive end of mine.
No, not at all. But he hits some big shots.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Hit big shots.
But he also get a lot of turnovers when it comes down in that fourth quarter.
And that's like a talent. Marcus
Smart.
But I think that's talent.
Trade him.
But that's for what?
Don't ask me that now. Free agency didn't start. Trade him.
I'm not.
We don't gotta talk about it now. We don't gotta talk about it now. Just let it marinate.
Okay.
Let him marinate. Trade him. Just let him marinate though.
He just killed Marcus Smart. All right.
Al Horford, get rid of him. Just let him marinate.
I'm mad I couldn't have my guns. Oh.
Just let it marinate, man. You know.
But let's get to it. We've been running from it long enough. Reports are CP3's out. Phoenix got rid of the coach. I thought Ayton would be next. Actually, that's not true because I thought they picked Ayton by firing Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But allegedly CP3's out. It's not a fully guaranteed deal, but it's still a little hit they taking. So what do we think? Where does he land? Does he go back to Phoenix? Does he find his way to LA? Does he retire? I'm sure he wants a retirement tour. I don't think he deserves it, but that's just me. So if Paul Pierce didn't deserve one, Chris Paul don't deserve one. And I stand on that. But what do y'all think happens to Chris Paul? In October when the season starts, Chris Paul is where? Dev, I'll start with you.
I feel like it's going to happen because it's supposed to happen the first time. And you know how the Lakers go. I think he will be a Laker for some strange reason because you know how – because, you know, D'Lo he's going to be gone. I think Schroeder is going to be gone also. And it just leave the Lakers with no point guard. And the history of the Lakers, it's like sometimes when we on a decline, we feel like we have to go get these older players and think it's going to work out. We thought the Russ thing was going to work out. We see how that goes. They brought Pat Beverly in. We had 5 point guards on the roster during the season. You know what I mean? It was just like, wow, you keep bringing these older veterans in. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, you need some vets, but we already old.
Dev, sorry, this is something I just happened to see. I was scrolling on Twitter. Did y'all know Warren Sapp is like helping coach Washington's D-line?
No, I didn't know Warren Sapp was still involved with the NFL after what they did to him.
Yeah, I just happened to see this thing. Should Commanders look to make Warren Sapp a permanent addition to their coaching staff? Apparently, he's been helping out.
He should.
I'm with it. Sorry, I just happened to see that, so I didn't know if y'all knew because that was news to me, and I'm a fan.
Nah, that's news to me also. Shout out to Warren Sapp.
Shout out to Warren Sapp.
One of the greatest D linemen of all time. But I just feel like the Lakers are going to go try him because they feel like Chris Paul still got some juice left. I wouldn't particularly take him, not with this LeBron and AD debacle right now. I'm not going to say debacle, but what's going on is just is AD going to be healthy and how healthy he's going to be, how LeBron's going to look now coming into his 21st season, what key pieces or what trade pieces that we're going to keep from the trade deadlines. We're going to keep D'Lo. We're going to keep Vanderbilt, Beasley, Rui. And, you know, I mean, I just feel like it's about to be a whole lot of noise for the Lakers. And I feel like that signing Chris Paul would, like, die down some of the noise, but I think that's just a Band-Aid. I wouldn't particularly take Chris Paul at this age of his career now. Back when Kobe was still a Laker, yes, I was all for it. But now CP3 can't finish seasons. even if we get deep to the playoffs, I don't think he's going to be there. I honestly, and then my second question is, can we move CP? Now can say that CP3 is a backup point guard versus a starter point guard now? And if he become a backup, where did he really go? And does that fit his demeanor? Because Melo, it took Melo almost 2.5 years to become that bench player, and he accepted that bench role. So that's like the only team I can really see make sense is the Lakers right now, because I think every other team has their point guard except for Boston, but I don't think that Boston would make that move.
No, don't do it, Boston. Don't do it.
It doesn't fit Boston because you're twinning backwards, in my opinion. So I think he's gonna be a Laker. I still think he still got juice up to be in the NBA, so I think he'll be a Laker.
Chris.
First off, I just want to I want to congratulate the Phoenix Suns for finally getting rid of Chris Paul. I will say this. Here on ASAP Sports.
Hold on, man. Have you been drinking the same thing Ray been drinking lately? Because y'all two.
Listen, man.
The truth will set you free.
Here on ASAP Sports, and the archives are my witness. Ken NY.
Hey, coach.
Yo.
The archives are my witness. I called Chris Paul to the Suns as soon as they lost in the bubble to the Rockets. Go check the archives. It's a fact.
Okay.
But where he goes now, to me, it's not that obvious because I don't know how much game he has left in his tank. And also, if I'm a team that gets Chris Paul, I don't need him to be this dominant, hold the ball in his hands type of guy. So the reason why I might lean towards the Lakers is because I could see LeBron James telling him what he needs to do and your role on his team. I don't think a team needs to sign Chris Paul and wants him to be the automatic leader because how much do you really trust him? And how is he really going to play when you need him to play? So, and the Dev's point, is he going to be a backup?
Got to be.
If
you want to win a ring.
Is he going to be a backup? So, with all those questions in the air, I think he goes to LA. Now, where I would kind of like him to see if he's going to be a backup, but he'd have to be a full-time backup if he goes there, would be the Pelicans. But I don't see that happening. So, therefore,
how you running from this? You know where you need to go.
To the Lakers.
Nah.
To
Where?
Philly.
Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
No?
No.
Pick and roll with Embiid.
No.
Pick and roll with Embiid.
No.
In a backup role?
No.
Y'all get Tobias Harris and James Harden off your books?
No.
Hey, Ray, look at his face. He's not looking at me.
Look at me.
No.
He won't even look at me.
No. Because exactly how you said, it's not a two-man game. It's a pick and roll. You have nowhere else to go but to the basket. That's why DeAndre Ayton numbers kept depleting. No. If it's not but Embiid is pick and pop, pick and roll, two-man game. It's none of that when you have Chris Paul. You're going to set this screen for me right here, and you're going to dive to the basket. I'm going to throw the ball to you, and you lay it up or you dunk it. I don't want that on my team. No.
I think it's a good fit. But
I don't.
My real solution.
Wherever Dot goes, that's where Chris Paul needs to go. How about that?
Ooh,
out the league. Cool.
Doc might have a job.
I think the answer is Milwaukee. I think that's the best fit for him. I think he can.
I like that.
I think he can settle in behind Drew Holiday. I think they can get Chris Middleton's money off the books. Bring Portis back. They got some Grayson Allen, some other young players.
But I don't even think it's going to cost him that much because he's getting assuming that he's going to that they're going to wait for him before that deadline. He's still going to get decent $19.5 million or something like that.
Which is kind of weird that they're willing to put their self they lost all leverage in negotiation.
Yeah, so like he's still going to. So I don't think he's going to even be looking for a whole lot of money. Like I think he might even mess around and sign for the veteran minimum for the right situation.
I like Milwaukee way over LA. I think LA, you got 3 really old people with a bunch of injury history.
That's what I'm saying. But you know how the Lakers is.
I know with Bron like his veterans. You like his homeboys. And maybe they'll bring Melo out of retirement
the Banana Boat crew.
Run.
That's the only one he hasn't played with.
Hey, you know what I'm going ahead and say? As soon as they do that, as soon as they bring the Melo and CP3, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. As soon as the season starts,
They might as well bring Dwayne Wade out of retirement.
I'm telling
man.
you, just
you might as well get the whole Redeem team. Go ahead and dig my man Kobe up.
Oh,
the whole band together.
You might as well do all that now. You can bring the whole Redeem, bring Dwight Howard back.
He want to come back.
Listen,
he said he want to go to Sacramento.
They over there
Smart
cooking and Taiwan.
All right, look, real quick. We brought up Dwight, and I saw something, and I kind of agree. Well, I don't want to say I kind of agree, but I'm kind of curious.
Boy, here we go.
All right, yes or no? Is Dwight Howard the top 75 player in the NBA?
Yes.
Okay. Dwight Howard, defensive end, one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen. Yes or no?
Yes.
At center or
center?
Any position.
Center,
yes.
Center, yes.
How does prime Dwight Howard defense? Do you think he slows down Jokic? Okay.
No.
Okay.
He's not smart enough.
Okay.
At prime D, I think he gives him some problems. I think he gives him, with his speed and his strength and
2 minutes
and
into
his
the game.
athleticism.
I'm with you on that one, Ray, a little bit, but
I think talent, yes. His physical capabilities, he's strong enough, he's fast enough, all that. I just don't think he's smart enough. I think Jokic would have a field day with pump fakes
He
and
definitely
footwork,
would,
and it would just look bad.
But now it'd be some blacks that D White is sending to the crowd now.
No, he gonna get him.
He definitely going to dunk on Jokic too. But
that little floating Jokic,
what is worth, he would be a hard cover for Jokic in that old Orlando system, the 4 out, 1 in.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jokic would have a hard time guarding him in that environment, but I don't think.
I still see Jokic averaging triple double still.
Yeah,
just because of the team, just because that Orlando team wasn't as deep as this Denver team.
And for what it's worth, Chris, I think Bam is a really good compliment at this level. That his skill set, I think, is similar. I think he obviously is slightly better shooter, and he's not as great around the rim as a dunker. But I think their skill sets and body types are similar enough. Dwight was just bigger. And we're seeing what Jokic
more athletic
is
too.
now.
But I see what you're saying. Way more athletic, way stronger. But I see what you're saying.
I don't think strength is a value really against
because
he don't play that.
And he's so heavy. Like
I see Jokic.
As strong as Dwight Howard is, I think he still wound up backing him down. So I don't know. What's up, Hill? That's my guy.
Yeah. So good question, but I don't know. Kenny, when you jumped on, we was talking about where do you see CP3. So where do you have?
I like
the Knicks.
If they didn't have Jalen Brunson,
I mean, as a backup, yeah, I would be okay with that. But I think what you're saying is true. I think he's going to have to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not mature, but evolve into that backup point guard mentor role. Like, I think his days of being a starting point guard in the league, like, he's gonna have to let that go because I just think his body can't, like Kyle Lowry. I just think his body can't withstand the rigors of being a starting point guard in today's NBA, especially how fast paced the game is and how much they're going down, how much they go up and down, rather I should say. So I think he does have to evolve into becoming that backup point guard, and I like that Milwaukee. I like that Milwaukee move more than the Lakers because I think, to your point, that it's just like that age factor. I think that's really what they're missing is that backup point guard because they try like with the George Hills of the world, DiVincenzo, like they tried a few guys in that spot, and I think he would really solidify that. And I think he would also help out Drew Holiday too because. Mm-hmm. He's been in the league for a long, for a minute as well too, and he's been talking about retiring and things of that nature as well, because he got banged up a lot this past season. So I think that he's going to help. I think that would be the best situation.
Chris
for
is
him.
trolling, boy.
So Chris, I ain't gonna hold you.
You
Before I
is
said Milwaukee,
trolling.
if Chris Paul wants to start, we do have a spot. I will be pissed.
I got like 3 spots.
I will be furious if we go get this loser and
Hey,
bring
yo.
him in.
You gotta stop, man.
What happened?
He's a loser. What does he want?
He would fit right in then.
He got
That's the problem. We don't need more losers.
Y'all got like 3 spots right now. That's
That's
open.
what I'm saying. Like you can use it.
And he ain't the
You can
solution for
use-
none of them. He can come
use,
sit on the bench. You want to sit behind the bench and help
listen,
coach?
Your guard
You can't use a
rotation.
backup point
No
guard like
offense.
that. He gonna help your
So-
team.
Quick
All your
question
point
then.
guards are career backups.
Right, he ain't better than what was my
Monte
man?
Morris, DeLon
Right.
Wright,
He ain't
and
better than-
Kendrick Nunn.
Right. You telling me that wouldn't be an upgrade over Monte Morris?
Y'all,
Why
y'all
you
want me to
thinking?
answer
Stop.
Yo.
You're thinking too long.
You
Come on,
think-
that? Come
stop.
on now.
Yeah.
Look,
His
this guy's a
question.
bum, y'all. Did y'all see him playing last year?
Quick question
You gotta
then.
stop.
He
Oh,
got his
man.
coach fight. He was the point guard
You
of the
gotta
team
stop.
that's getting blown up because
Yeah,
he
you
can't
gotta-
stay healthy.
You're not.
I don't want Chris
So you
Paul on my
sitting
team
here.
either.
So
I
you
ain't
sitting
gonna
here
lie.
and telling us
I
that
don't want
Monte
Chris Paul on
Morris
my
is a
team
better
either.
point guard than Chris Paul right now.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's
That's what the
much better
question
options.
was.
There are much better options available. Don't go get that guy. If we go get that guy, you will not see me in a Wizards apparel at all. When
Quick
Dwight
question.
Howard went to the
Well, see that
Lakers,
anyway. But go ahead.
no, I wear Wizard stuff. I don't wear Commander stuff.
Listen to your point. I don't want Chris Paul on my team either. So
Chris,
Get-
quick
Get
question
him out of
though.
here.
What if he go to Miami then, and play the Kyle Lowry role
Nah,
down in
he'd be
Miami?
more Udonis Haslam than Kyle Lowry. We know
Hey,
that.
yo, see, now you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Chris Paul's
you want?
Chris Paul's too
You gonna
ball
play Chris
dominant.
Paul
Well,
ahead of
Chris
Gabe
Paul-
Vincent?
And Chris Paul doesn't
No.
play defense.
But he's a safeguard.
He get cooked.
I said he's playing the
He's a
Kyle
backbone.
Lowry. Kyle Lowry's getting cooked too.
No, Kyle Lowry playing defense, yo.
Kyle Lowry be trying hard.
No,
That's
Kyle
because-
Lowry be sliding
because-
all over the
That's
floor,
because
man.
they put Kyle Lowry at 6 foot. They
No.
didn't put him on Jokic
No.
because he's a big body.
Kyle
I guess.
Lowry be all flopping all over the floor, hitting splits in the middle of the floor.
At least
Nah,
he's
no,
doing.
He chasing
Kyle
people.
does-
He
Hey,
chase
listen.
people. He chase people.
Kyle
Chase
competes
people
on
from
defense.
behind.
Yeah,
and
Kyle
clip 'em.
I
be
disagree.
competing. Chris Paul, you
He'll
know.
make some plays, deflections,
question.
get some steals
Get
down there.
Chris
He'll battle.
Paul
I see
out of
Chris
here.
Paul play defense. He had a Clippers jersey.
Chris Paul and Melo need to go out together so they can come into the Hall of Fame together and they can give each other speeches. Get that loser off the court.
All right,
You
now.
calling that man a loser?
He's a loser.
I mean,
And guess what?
He
If he
didn't
take
win
a
nothing.
backup role, he probably gonna lose some State Farm deals because don't nobody want the face of your organization as a backup point guard.
now you
How many
talking-
backup point
You
guards
just-
get national TV commercials?
now you
This
talking
man
about
just
them-
emptying his.
now you
clip
talking
right
about his
now
money.
on
You talking about
Chris
his
Paul,
money.
man.
I'm just asking the question. Y'all see any backup point guards getting national TV commercials?
How do we get here?
I don't know.
No.
I don't
When
know.
Baker Mayfield started tripping, Progressive don't put him on TV no more. What happened to all them commercials?
Baker was never.
He ain't
good
got the
anyway.
keys to the Brown Stadium no more.
And neither do
He had
we.
to give them to Deshaun Watson. Remember all them keys he had in the commercial?
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa? It looks atrocious. God almighty.
That clip was rough. Oh.
They look trash. I told him he should have stayed in
But
LA
to be
with
fair,
John
though, that's
McVay.
only like one. That's a one-off of the drill. So I'm not gonna really judge it too bad. But that definitely did look bad.
I'm judging. I'm judging it.
5-yard.
You telling me that you are throwing zip line bullets on a 5-yard slant? Like, no, this is OTAs. What are you trying to zip it in? Who are you trying to get it past?
Like,
It
the
is
receivers
air
weren't even
versus
defending their
receiver.
hand. He was like, I'm not. Why even try?
Yo,
And
I
I'm a
was,
Baker guy. Like I like Baker, but God dang, I told you stay in LA.
Yeah,
Stay in LA.
I never
That system with
believed
that coach.
in Baker.
nah, I wasn't. I kind of thought that Baker was a 2.0 Johnny Manziel.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
No.
That's
It
the
wasn't that bad, but it was
Yeah.
it
He
was
was
a little better, but not a lot.
Yeah, it was just like Johnny Manziel looking, just a chubby Johnny Manziel all over again, man.
Speaking of which, do we have any? Was there any resolution to the Brian Flores lawsuit? Did that get settled or anything?
No,
It's a
still,
crazy
it's still
segue.
swept underneath the rug. Nobody's talking about it no more. That's
Hugh
all.
Jackson, I thought had joined at one point, and then
No, Hugh Jackson backed off.
Wait, didn't? But if I remember right, I think it got thrown out.
did it?
I think it got thrown out. But I'm just gonna check real quick to see if I can find out.
Because I ain't heard nothing about that. I know he went to Pittsburgh and was coaching, but
No, but now he's a defensive coordinator in Minnesota now, right?
Yeah. Oh no,
they fired him?
No. Minnesota just wanted him as a defensive coordinator now. He was a linebacker coach in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Congratulations to him then. And of course, as soon as they bring him in, they let Dalvin Cook go, and they stuck with Kirk Cousins. So now the defense is gonna look like trash because the offense is gonna be awful.
And because they lost to Darius Smith.
Woo!
Like people we just
So I don't know Minnesota and Green Bay gonna be fighting for last spot.
I ain't seen no Jordan Love highlights neither. So
I seen a little bit. Not it was just
All I'm saying
Exactly.
is, man,
that's all it was.
real quick, look, man, I ain't even gonna get there, man. Is it on? Yeah, all right, man.
well, yeah, actually, that's our next.
It's number 4. It's number 4. It's number 4 for me.
So where we did the CP3 where he lands, by all accounts, they're going to release Dalvin Cook. I think that's a mistake, and I think it's criminal the way running backs get treated in the NFL. Just my personal opinion. But here we are. Derrick Henry still doesn't. Like he was up to be traded, and nobody wanted to go get Derrick Henry. That's nuts to me.
Wow.
Nobody felt like he was worth that first round.
That's ridiculous. to
I
me.
think I think even more so it's the money. They don't want to commit to that. To that money that's still
the
left.
TV money.
But
is
then again,
about to go up.
you wouldn't have to like the Titans suck on offense. So if I was a team trader for Henry, maybe you can cut down the workload or something. Maybe that makes him even better.
I don't understand why I can name like 6 teams that should be lined up to go get Derrick Henry that I think.
Is your team on there?
Whoa!
We got 2 running backs.
I'm just asking.
Between Gibson and Robinson, we don't need running backs.
You right. I like them. They want
We
me
need a quarterback.
And what else?
You don't believe in Sam Howell?
No, Robinson.
You got Jake Fromm. You got Jake Fromm.
Stay out of
We have
Southeast
Sam Howell and I
DC.
think
You
Jacoby Brissett.
got Jake Fromm.
Yeah, they suck. Like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, we're going to waste the young talent core. We're going to waste our window because we want Sam Howell to be our quarterback. And if I'm wrong and he comes out and plays well, I'm going to get on here and say
Warner
that.
this year.
But I don't see it. I will go as far as to say I'd rather have Kyler Murray than Sam Howell. And I can't stand Kyler Murray.
Wow.
I mean, duh. But.
So I don't see it for us. I think the talent is there.
Where you got fever?
No. I'm a realist. Like,
Man, go get that thermos. Go get that thermostat,
like
bro.
we should have somebody at Geno. I would have become if we could go get Ryan Tannehill, somebody like that. Our team is good. We got a lot of skill positions.
Yeah, but
that
you
are
don't
young.
want to. To me, though, I would rather see what the young guy has than to try to go with some glorified game manager.
There was a reason that last year with Sam Howell on the roster, Taylor Heineke was the starting quarterback. And now he's a backup in Atlanta to Desmond Ridder. Like, that's Sam Howell. So I'm not optimistic. I think we're dropping the ball immensely. But Dan Snyder, he's not going to go commit to a high-priced quarterback when he's trying to sell the team. So I get it, but I think Gibson and McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and all them young players, we're wasting years because we got these dumb idiots running an organization that won't go get a quarterback. But I digress. But back to Dalvin Cook. What are we thinking? He seems talented. He's had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He gets the ball in the end zone.
He is talented.
Yeah.
Kenny, you're with us. What does Dallas make a run? What do you think?
I doubt it. I think that you know.
Actually, sorry, Kenny, I got to interrupt. Is Zeke gonna have a job this year?
That's a great question. I don't know.
I haven't
He's
heard.
gonna have to come down. He got to come down off his contract demands or whatever he thinks he's worth because clearly the market that he thought it was going to be is clearly not that. So
Yesterday's price is still yesterday's price.
Yeah, but if I'm like Dalvin Cook, if the first team that comes to mind, I thought about Miami, but I think the first team that comes to mind has to be Buffalo because we've been talking about Chris. How long have we been talking about?
Man, listen, I thought I couldn't wait to say Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the first team to
better take that minimum contract and go to
whatever it is. Like
and get to play with his brother too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've been it's been years that we've been saying. Probably since the start of the show, we've been saying Buffalo. The only thing that they're missing is a running back. And so, like, to me, that's the first team that I think would do it. That should look out for him. But if I'm Miami too, that's another team that I think should be because you put him with that speed that they have, like that's
Can they afford him? Because they paying a lot of people.
I don't know because
if I'm Cook, how much money? Like if
that's what I'm saying.
How much?
He might take a discount because he's a Florida guy, so he might take a hometown discount to
especially if I want to win. If I actually want to win now. I might take a 1 year solid contract, put up my numbers, and go get a bag on a winning team.
As a running back, that's
but I don't even know if you get a bag on I think nowadays it's really you're almost year to year when it comes to the running back position because none of these teams want to commit to give running backs long-term contracts.
Yeah.
So those are two teams right off the top of my head.
The Bills definitely were a team for me. Next, honestly, I'm trying to think of winning teams because if I'm Dalvin Cook, I don't want to go to a losing situation.
Of course.
So, as I look at the teams, and sadly, a lot of teams have running backs that they favor. It's not the Bills. The team I might be looking at is the Broncos. The Broncos. And if I want to be petty, I would go to the Lions. But to me, I can't really think of any other fit, honestly, than the Bills. I think the Bills, for me, would be option number 1, 2, and 3. And if I can't go there, Miami would be 4. And then, honestly, if they're able to get their head on straight, I would go to Denver. Other than that, I can't think of nowhere else. Like I said, if you want to be petty, go to the Lions. But other than that, I can't really think of nothing else.
I think y'all missing a couple teams, but go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, I just thought of one more, but I'll wait till
only if there's one team would have just waited a couple of months. The Chargers, if they was looking to get rid of Austin Eckler. If you'd have just waited, I think Dalvin Cook would have been an easy replacement. Yeah. You know what I mean? And with the offense that they trying to build with Kellen Moore and what's that wide receiver they got in the draft? I think they got the
young boy, quick boy from BC. I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
And you know what I mean, what they trying to do, I think that would have been an explosive team over there in the AFC West. So I'd have picked the Chargers if they would have waited.
Okay. So I got a couple. I think he's that good. The first team that comes to mind for me is Kansas City. I think Pacheco's great, but I don't think he's a long-term every down back. I think
Carlos Edwards-Helaire too. But I'm just saying, like they just.
I think they got like 3 running backs.
And they got McKinnon. They got too many running backs for me. That's why they're not on my list.
I can get rid of Edwards-Helaire's on a rookie deal.
I like Pacheco.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But do you spend your money on that if you're Kansas City?
They're not spending a lot of money elsewhere. They ain't paying their receivers outside of Kelsey. Yeah. They ain't paying no big time people on defense. Mahomes' contract's team friendly. I think they have the money and resources to go get it. And like I said, Edwards-Helaire and the other guy, I think they ain't making no money. I can cut them.
Yeah, I mean, they're no Dalvin Cook. They had too many running backs for me to. I don't know if they're going to consider it, but I see what you're saying.
Move them jokers. The other team, who was I just looking at, that I think would be really valuable in a win now situation is I would look at. He kind of took the Chargers. I don't think they need more help offensively, but I think that would be too much. I was thinking Cincy, but I think Joe Mixon's fine as a one.
But we don't know. But we don't know what Joe Mixon's situation is.
Yeah, he might be.
And that's why I feel like
that's one
that poses a lot of leverage. And then I was really surprised that you didn't say this with the exit of Miles Sanders, Philly. Like, I love
adding
Swift.
Him. I love Swift. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they got.
I see what you're saying.
DeAndre Swift. Yeah,
I see what you're saying. But I'm a Swift guy.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I like Swift too.
And again, I'm going off with like with the teams I named. They have no running game. To me, I feel like we don't need.
And I want to win.
We don't need a Dalvin Cook. I'd rather go after a D-Hop than a Dalvin Cook. Because I got Swift. But I'm saying I got Swift. I got 4 running backs that are going to see the field.
And
we're not going over a Dalvin Cook.
You got another back.
We got Gainwell. Like we had Gainwell.
Yeah, like
we got Rashad. I'm telling you, you making that face right. We don't need him.
No, we're not talking need. I'm saying fit and where if I'm him where I want to go. The other team I forgot. This is what I really meant to say. Saquon ain't get paid, and they've in essence reduced their contract offer.
But he still has his franchise, so he's not like he's not going to be there.
I don't think he signed it. Did he sign
He
it?
didn't sign it yet, but he's going to sign it at some point.
So if I'm the Giants, you can play that game if you want. And I also don't see Dalvin Cook. I wouldn't want him as my sole running back because he has an injury history. So I'm looking to pair him with somebody else that can offset, that they can play together. Like he's still him, but I don't necessarily want him carrying the ball 200 times a season. If I can knock that down to 125, get him, maybe 50 catches out the backfield, that to me is more sustainable, especially getting later in the year. And most of those teams I mentioned play indoors, which he's used to playing with. So those would be the fits for me if he wants to win. If he wants to get paid, that's a whole different conversation. The Rams would come into effect.
That's what I thought about.
They're trying to cut a bunch of money off their team, but I don't think you win in LA. San Fran.
Yeah,
I thought Seattle, but I think they really like Kenneth Walker, and they have another back.
That's right.
But like you said, you don't need Dalvin Cook to be the heavy down back. You know what I mean?
I don't think Seattle's.
But I don't think he goes to a situation where he's going to be a number 2. He's going to want to go to a situation.
He's still a number 1 type of back.
I think he's a number 1.
That's why I said the Buffalo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's not going nowhere where he's going to be a number 2. I don't think. He's
what team did we mention he's not going to come in and be the 1 outside of maybe Philly?
Maybe Seattle. He might not be number 1 in Seattle.
He not. Whoever says I swore I heard San Fran.
The Giants. He wouldn't be a number 1 there.
Whoever said San Fran.
I was saying definitely.
Like to me, if I'm Dalvin Cook, like obviously if you want to win, you would go to an Eagles, but like he's at a point where he wants to win and also be like useful. He's not at LaShawn McCoy, end of his career where he just didn't know. He's still he's still to me one of the best running backs in the league.
Absolutely.
That's why I named teams in AFC East. That's why I named the Bills. That's why I like the Dolphins because those are winning teams, but you're also going to be playing, meaningful snaps.
I just don't think.
I don't think that he would. I don't
think Dolphins is a winning team. You know what I mean?
And that quarterback.
Well, they got the potential to be.
They got the potential, and I think he makes a difference. To me, I number 1 has to be Buffalo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Number 1 has to be Buffalo. That has to be number 1.
Okay,
but I think that
I don't think it's a bad spot.
Let me ask y'all this: so you don't think putting Dalvin Cook with the Rams with him, Cooper Kupp, and healthy Stafford, you don't think that they would be a winning team?
I'm not. No, I'm not a fan of the. I haven't bought into the Rams team yet. I'm still. There's a lot of question marks. They had too many. No, they're all question marks. Honestly, I don't. Other than Aaron Donald, I don't even know their defense.
Well, I mean, I'm
So-
just talking on the offensive side of the ball.
No offensive line. No offensive line.
In my opinion, I think it will be just like being in Minnesota all over again.
100%. Even worse, in my opinion.
You still got average quarterback play. You still got your number one wide receiver.
Stafford is better than
Come on now.
Kirk Cousins.
Average.
We're not gonna do that. Yeah, we're not doing that.
All right. Well, after last year, to be fair,
All right, semi decent, because y'all know y'all ain't
That man
choosing
won a
Sam.
Super Bowl.
But y'all know y'all not choosing Sam Bradford
last year.
on y'all. But maybe Ray, because your team is the only team that don't have a quarterback right now. But you know that y'all ain't choosing Sam. Well, maybe you might choose Sam Bradford over Dak. So I don't know that much.
You talking Sam Bradford? Sam Bradford's trash. Matt Stafford's good.
Same.
Oh yeah, Matt Stafford.
I mean, he's definitely starting on both y'all teams. Is what Dev's trying to say.
No,
I like Matt Stafford.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off, Dev.
I can see Stafford. I can see him starting in Washington, Dallas.
They would love him over there. They would love him over there.
I guess
I would consider trading Chase Young for Matt Stafford, to be perfectly honest, because we got depth.
Oh, okay.
You're true. Because I see a lot of Commanders posts or podcasts that's willing to give up Young this year.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
wouldn't
because it's a question about health, so of course everyone.
And I think everybody else in that D line is already stout.
Mm-hmm.
Like we paid.
I got Mariota for you.
Sweat.
I got Mariota for you.
No.
Let me get Chase Young. I got Mariota for you.
Yeah,
That's your Mariota's your backup.
But I got Huntley. He was a Pro Bowler last year.
Oh yeah, yes he was.
He was a Pro Bowler last year. What's up? I need me a pass rusher. Y'all need a quarterback. What's up?
Hey, if that's the case, then in Rush we trust.
Hey, I'll send him to Dallas for real. I'm not the biggest Dak fan, but I'll take Dak for Chase. You could pair him with Michael Parsons and see what happens.
No, that's a cheat code. No, we ain't doing that. That's why I said send him up 95.
Listen, I would have to play against it. Listen, I would have to play against
Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis, Hunter Cox
in the division. So we just talking.
We are just talking.
I don't view him as great as others. Now, I didn't think Rui Hachimura was that good, and he performed better than I thought he would. I don't miss him per se, but he did do well.
Everybody's better when they leave Washington.
Boy, that's the alley-oop right there. Boy. I was
John Wall. John Wall on the line.
John Wall don't count. John Wall doesn't count. He's not in this. John Wall don't count.
How he don't count?
Because we saw how great he was in Washington.
Right.
I'm talking about guys that you didn't believe in while they were there and blossom when they leave. That's what I'm talking about.
I think that list is a lot shorter than you giving credit for, but we can leave that for another. We don't really let people go that turn out to be great to me.
I don't get nobody.
Otto Porter Jr. Was let him go.
Let's move on, man. Let's
did Otto Porter flourish?
No. Let's talk. Who did he? Let's go.
He got a ring, didn't he?
He sure did.
He got a ring, didn't he?
He sure did.
Also, he must have flourish.
Otto Porter flourished with the Warriors.
Hey, his career might not be flourishing, but his ring finger is. So
he got a UG ring.
It doesn't matter how you got the ring. It doesn't matter.
Here you go.
When you're the third overall pick, yes, it does.
Look, Ray.
What you mean?
Listen.
Look, Ray.
He was the third pick.
Can we move on? Can we move on?
Kwame Brown went and did numbers. Like,
can we move on?
Oh boy.
Let's talk because I can't wait to talk about this next topic. Let's move on.
Let's get to
it. Okay.
Cleveland is pushing back on the quarterback. They gave a bunch of money and power, saying they are not interested and have not brought in DeAndre Hopkins for reasons unbeknownst to me. I think that makes too much sense to pair him with Amari Cooper and some of those other.
Y'all ready for my hot take?
Give it to us.
Let my man finish.
My fault. Go ahead, Ray. My bad.
He good.
Not too hype. Nah. Go ahead, Ray.
I like hot takes. Go ahead and say something crazy.
If the Browns get D-Hop, Today is June 8th, 2023.
It is.
They get
Speak
D-Hop.
that garbage. Speak that garbage.
They going to the Super Bowl.
Ooh, that's definitely a hot take.
If
I
they
did not
get
see that
D-Hop.
coming. I thought you were the other way.
Only time the Browns are going to the Super Bowl is when everybody go to the bathroom.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
No.
If they get D-Hop,
Oh, I
They
never
get D-Hop.
heard that one before.
if
That's hilarious.
they're going to sweep the Ravens and they go to the Super Bowl.
Facts.
All right,
They
listen,
run
that
away
was a
with the
shot.
division.
Dev, that was a shot for no reason. I'm sorry.
I know.
But if they get D-Hop,
D-Hop, Odell.
Listen, why you
D-Hop,
playing,
Odell.
though?
if they no,
Why
we
you
not, I'm
playing?
not
You
doing
put
that.
D-Hop and Amari Cooper and Joku and Nick Chubb with Deshaun Watson, thinking that
Oh,
assuming that he's
another
gonna be able to bust
And
off
their
this
offensive
thing.
line.
Oh,
And
That's
now you got
scary.
somebody.
you
who
want
is-
to keep it? You want
Wait,
to keep
hold
it
on, hold
real?
on.
Miles
I ain't
Garrett
watching
still
those. I'm not watching those games. I'm not watching that
Miles
game when they
Garrett
play
still
against the
there, too.
Ravens.
And then on the opposite
not
side of
watching those
Miles
games.
Garrett, you finally got a good pass rusher now.
You
with
get a
Zadarius
Darius
Smith.
Smith? No,
And
not
then you got
watching.
Denzel Ward, and if those corners that they keep drafting actually come alive, oh my goodness!
Now, don't get me wrong.
Ooh.
Scary hours. Not watching those games. Not watching those games.
Scary hours.
I don't know.
And that's the part. Like, this is where teams lose me. If you're going to invest that much in your quarterback, are you
Why
all
not
in or
go
not?
all in? Thank you, Dev. I'm sorry. Thank you, Ray.
Maybe they put too much money in their quarterback. That's why they can't get no help for their quarterback now.
They paid a whole bunch of people. I do not believe, and I don't think we talked about. I forget who was there taking a discount to go down to Florida. I think D-Hop would be willing to give some money back for that run.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
he's not. I don't think he's getting 18 million from anybody.
Y'all finally got a team around y'all now. Whether
I
when you was in
think-
Houston, it was just a 1-2 punch.
Or
Now
they
y'all
can
got a
give him
real
money and
team.
stretch it out. Like, give him 3 years, 50 million. I think he can. I think that's decent. Give him some incentives or even give him a big signing bonus. I'm good with that. I don't understand what the hesitation is here. Like, it seems like a no-brainer. He's a free agent. You don't even got to give nothing up for him.
Right.
Like, I don't know what
I
they
know a
wait.
place where he can go if you don't want to. If you don't want to stay there. I mean, if they don't want him, I know another place he can go.
Where at, Chris? Here come the troll hours.
No, man, Baltimore.
Oh, I think
So Baltimore's gonna go from never bringing in receivers to paying 2 receivers $40 million.
They should have been to this. Like I've been on record saying this. When you have a quarterback who is a running quarterback, but then that can throw, but maybe has questionable arm talent, instead of doing what Tom Brady and them did, where I can make any pass, I've been a receiver. No, you bring the receivers to him. That's what the Eagles did with Jalen Hurts. That's why I see a lot of teams going and do. So why are the Ravens not doing that for Lamar Jackson? If I'm them, I will bring in D-Hop. I would have Odell because Odell got questionable health. The rest of the Ravens receivers, let's see who's actually good. Other than that, I'm bringing in D-Hop and I'm going blazing. Let's throw the ball. But the Browns to me is my number one choice. With no trolling, the Browns, a warm weather team because he played in Arizona and Houston, 2 warm weather cities. So the Browns, a warm weather city, and then the Ravens.
ain't nothing warm in Ohio.
But listen, he got his quarterback back though. That's the reason
that'll
why
be
they're
warm. That's about it.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna be warm. in
that's the
Cleveland.
reason why that's my number one team. But that's my number one team. It's because he get his quarterback back. I don't see him going to the Chargers.
Yeah, they really don't. Well, only reason you could probably put the Chargers in there is because their receivers can't stay healthy.
What if he go to Kansas City though?
Oh, that'd be stupid.
I ain't watching. I ain't watching NFL. I'm telling you that right now. I ain't watching it. I ain't doing no shows about it. I'm doing all NBA shows if that happens.
Talk about scary hours, boy. That
That would be all right.
Sheesh.
That'll open up a lot for my man Kelsey.
Would Dallas interested in getting D-Hop? Kenny, what you think?
They just brought in.
I don't know if the money. Yeah, I don't know if they got the money because That's what
Gallup,
they traded
Cooks,
for Cook.
Lamb.
And yeah, they got their three
You figure you
guys.
got a healthy Gallup. You know, Gallup.
And they paid Gallup last year.
All
Y'all
right.
paid.
Yeah.
True,
So
true.
you figure he'll be right coming, you know, a year out from the ACL.
If this team had a quarterback,
yeah, I don't think so.
this team had a quarterback, we talk about scary hours.
Maybe Minnesota to
No.
replace Thielen.
Well, yeah,
I
but
don't know. That'd be stupid for him.
if the 49ers,
I wouldn't
if
do
the
it. I'm just saying,
49ers
like-
had a real quarterback, they could throw the ball.
Ooh,
Now that you talk about
That's
scary
interesting.
hours.
Nice weather.
Him and Debo.
I ain't even gonna hold you. If the 49ers get another top player, man, and don't win the Super Bowl, I don't know what to say about them anymore, man. It's just like, sheesh, you went and you got Debo, you got CMC.
You need a quarterback.
It's like, God, what if Brock Purdy becomes out to be the guy that everybody is kind of hyping up to be?
Then they're gonna be good for a long time because he on a rookie deal. They can do some
get
things for
D-Hop.
the next 2 to 3 years. If he's him. Now you got to figure out what Trey Lance is. But yeah.
Listen, all those y'all
So
got,
do you?
y'all
But
got
the thing,
Sam Darnold, you know.
the thing about it is, with this preseason, you know how preseason in the NFL is.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna really see Lance or Purdy for real. So how can you really determine?
And that's
I
a
think
mistake.
I think you're gonna see more Lance than you will Purdy. I'm not sure if he'll even be ready
These-
by then.
These teams are idiots. They need to start playing these players.
True.
Because them first couple weeks of the season be rough.
Mhm.
Especially Lance because he's so inexperienced. Like I would be surprised if he doesn't play a lot in the preseason. Well, not a lot, but get some significant snaps in the preseason.
I think he should get a lot.
Yeah, well, I
Just to
mean,
see if he can even sustain.
honestly, at least play that dress rehearsal game into the third quarter. You got to at least see that because you figure with preseason, it's only one game that you really watch. I think was that third week or that whatever that week is before the final
the third.
week.
Whoa.
Yeah,
They
that
only
third
got 3 now, right?
We only got 3
hold on,
now,
real
so
quick.
it's got to be that second one.
Whatever, yeah, the second one, whatever the one is right before the last preseason game. That's always a dress rehearsal game. So I think you got to see him playing into the third quarter in that game, and you probably see him play in that first preseason game. You probably see him play the whole first quarter, as opposed to normally the starter maybe plays 2 series if he plays at all. So because he got to get reps,
I agree. I hope they adjust that because I saw too many average guys getting rested like they superstars, and that don't make no sense to me.
No,
Same
I
thing,
was gonna
Aaron
say-
Rodgers. I get it, but I think he should be playing. Like y'all need to play together in real action versus real teams and real environments. That practice stuff is cool. I don't think it's the same thing, but
No, for my preseason, I don't want to see J.K. Dobbins in preseason this year. I don't want to see it. Set him
I
up.
get it.
running backs,
I get it.
I can get with you on running backs. That's probably the easiest position to pick up. I could agree with that. Quarterbacks and receivers, they need timing.
Last team. Nah, that matter of fact, that's not gonna happen. I'm not even gonna name drop them.
Go ahead.
I'm already here. I'm already here.
I would say you cliffhangers now.
Yeah, I'm already here. A team. What about the Falcons?
They
For who?
suck.
What you mean?
D-Hop?
D-Hop. If you
Kyle
the Falcons,
Pitts?
if
That's
you the
it?
Falcons, you're not throwing a bag at him,
Only
though.
way that's the only way he's going is
That's
for
what
a
I
bag.
mean. You're not.
But I think he already said though he wants to be in a winning situation.
I was just looking at rosters, and the first thing I go when I pulled up teams, I went to their defense.
And
Who the
another
defense
team,
is.
then we can add Dalvin Cook to this team. Kenny, what's up with your Jags? They can use it, either one, in my opinion.
Jags.
What's the name? My
Yeah,
Jags.
he said it a little. He said
Etienne,
it.
they got Etienne though, so
Yeah, they love ETN.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But durability.
No, don't again, but to your point though, that would be a nice 1-2 punch. But then it goes back to Dalvin Cook doesn't want to be. He's not going there to be the second running back.
But I think that's better. I think ETN would serve better long term as more of a third down scat kind of back.
You're probably right. I just don't think that. That's because they already got rid of the what was it?
They had 2 running backs.
James Robinson or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded him off.
He
So.
ain't Dalvin Cook.
I'm just saying, like they had the 2 running back situation, and it didn't work out because Robinson started complaining that he wasn't getting enough touches. So I don't think it would be any better if they try to do it with him and Dalvin Cook.
Here go another
Titans might as
troll.
well just go all in, man. Go ahead though.
They go another troll. It's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
But what if Buffalo went out and got D-Hop? You know, if they just couldn't get Dalvin Cook.
Because they let Sanders go.
Now you got big play Gabe, and you got Stephon Diggs.
I'll be honest. They listen. They might throw the ball. All the runs will come from Josh Allen.
I don't know. If
no handoffs. Listen, they 5 out every play, even on 3rd and 1, and it's going to be man.
That's going to get your quarterback head beat in. And he run the ball.
You know, because you know how Buffalo could be thinking, you know, because this is Josh Allen Madden year, so you know the Madden curse is coming along for him.
That's why you go get a running back. but to your point though, like, you know, like if we trolling now, he might as well come to Philly now. You want to troll, like, what you know?
He can't play. Where's he gonna fit?
Don't matter. Get a ring. We getting one this year.
I don't think so.
I ain't get one last year.
All right, man. We supposed to be troll brothers, man. I didn't say he go to Baltimore. You couldn't support him coming to Philly.
I tried to, but you know, y'all had good wide receivers last year. And
all right, next topic, man. Next topic.
We'll make this the last one. I'm happy about this. Kenny, you missed the Zion segment. Start the show.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I don't want no parts of that segment.
It wasn't even supposed to be a Zion segment.
It wasn't.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I missed that.
But for me, positive news. And I am serious. And I kind of referenced it earlier. These young men got to be careful with these women.
NDA, 3 letters.
Travis Rudolph, NDA wouldn't have mattered.
Him, Leonardo DiCaprio,
like
NDA king.
Y'all. One, I guess I'll get to it. Travis Rudolph found not guilty on all counts. So shout out to him. Got his life back. Hopefully he can get a workout. I don't know if his talent would dictate that per se, but at least he has his freedom. So I did want to say congratulations to him on overcoming. I don't know how close y'all followed that trial, but that was ridiculous. Like I
didn't even know about it.
She got on the stand, and like the disconnect. Like you sent a text, go shoot the joint up with everything but him. Like what?
It made no sense. It made no sense.
What are we doing? And unfortunately, somebody did lose their life in this situation, but. Men, be careful who you date and be careful who you listening to, because these women can get you in a lot of trouble. And Zion, we joked about, and I think hopefully he'll be a great dad and everything will work out. But I'm not doing it. I'm being serious. In this environment, people just got to be more careful. What? I'm being serious. I'm not joking.
No, a song popped in my head as we was talking about Zion, Ludacris song. I got pros. I got pros.
There's a way to play the game, and these kids are just not getting it. And so I hope this is a wake-up call. I know he celebrated, but just be careful out there, man. Like shout out to him for winning, but it can happen really, really fast. And for everybody that, you know, to the Zion point, like we joking about the situation, but he was moving really reckless. And the women went to social media with it, but they could have done some other stuff to him. And he was putting himself in a lot of vulnerable positions with people he don't really know. Mm-hmm. And I hope somebody gets him and is like, hey, it's all fun and games.
Slow down.
But in real life, like this could have went real bad a lot of times. So I hope everybody's paying attention. Y'all learning from this stuff. Like get the right team and people around you. John Moran, same thing. Your team and your village matters. It's a lot of money at a young age, and it's a lot of responsibility. So I do hope that they kind of lean on that. I don't know what veterans, what big OGs or big homies or anything like that can educate these kids on these women and these guns and violence. Like, it is not for play. So that's my 2 cents. Travis, glad that you made it. But we gotta be a little bit better and more selective with the people we spend our time with. Final thoughts from the rest of y'all. Chris, I'll start with you.
Once I heard about this situation and I saw the video and I started looking into it more, I was, very happy he was found not guilty. Very happy he beat the case. Like you said, definitely move smarter. And the fact that she tried to get on stand and lie like that was insane. The way he celebrated was a little funny because it's just like, oh my goodness, we trolled too much.
Man.
He had Dalvin Cook with him, which was funny, but he was trolling big time on social media. But I understand why.
I get it.
His life was on the line for something that he sadly was a part of. But glad that he's still here. Sadly, somebody lost their life, but this is nothing to play around with. You got to be careful out here, especially in this new day and age of instant glorification and people jumping and doing a stream like come shoot everything up. Who says that? That was crazy. So we're not going to speak on Zion no more. We got that.
I'm not committing to that.
But but to this particular case, I'm glad he was found not guilty, and that's all I got to say about that.
Dev.
So all my black athletes out here, he got to do better. I think this year and a little bit of last year, I think we stumbled. I'm not gonna say we failed. We stumbled tremendously, man, with different things going on, whether it was Montrezl Harrell and his marijuana situation, whether it's Ja Morant and his gun situation, whether it's Zion and this.
A year ago, Miles Bridges lost $100 million.
I'm just great to get to that. You know what I mean? If y'all have not understand yet, man, Raiden said it. I said it the best way. It takes a great team. And if you don't have a great team and a great supporting cast to put you in the best positions, man, they got to get rid of them. Y'all understand that might be your homeboy from the sandbox. You know what I mean? But that you realize that the sandbox only stays about the same size. It don't get no bigger, it don't get no smaller, because it's going to stay there. You know what I mean? Let that friendship stay there if it's no good to them, man. So we have to do better. I'm hoping that the end of this year that we'll get it together, man. Hopefully no more negative news is coming out from our black athletes.
Cool. Coach, take us out of here.
Yeah, just to echo what you guys said, I think the most important thing is he's gotten his freedom. Hopefully he gets another opportunity to be able to get back on the football field and to play. And I think he will, because, we have all of these, even if it's not the NFL, we got the XFL, we got the USFL. So now there's other avenues for these guys to get money. Even the CFL is still, moving and shaking around, still going strong. So, hopefully he'll get another opportunity. And I think the other thing for me is, and to Dev's point, man, you really got to just watch your circle. Is a saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So you got to really really watch how you move, like, and take a page out of the book of the guys that have been successful. Like I said before, the Derek Jeters of the world, somebody said DiCaprio about, these guys moved quietly and you never knew about their private lives because they kept it private. And it's, I guess the challenge is nowadays with the social media society that we're in, everybody wants to put everything on social media. But I don't think social media, some things are just not for social media. And you just got to really guard your space and really guard your privacy and just move in a way that's going to protect your bag at the end of the day. Like, like Marshawn Lynch said, protect your chicken, man. Like, because here's the other thing. Is that as long as you have any type of notoriety, as long as you have any type of money, any type of clout, status or anything, we got a lot of clout chasers out here. So you just got to be mindful of that, and then just as you make your decisions, be mindful of that because everybody doesn't have your best interests at heart. And if they don't have your best interests at heart, you got to move them out. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about before with y'all. Like you got to be, you got to really exhibit some tough love sometimes. Just tell guys, hey, we can't be what we were. It's a time where we have to grow. Sometimes you grow apart, or you go apart from people, or you evolve past people sometimes. So you just got to be okay with that and be okay with having to move without certain people. And the last thing I said, I remember this story that I heard Stephen A. Smith say one time, and I thought it was like it's really apropos for this situation. He was talking about a player, and he was a player that constantly he was trying to help out his friend. And he was constantly getting into situations, He was helping him out. Then it was, he finally had the last straw. This last time, he went and bailed the guy out. He gave him a certain amount of money, and it was like, this is it, we're done. And I think that's sometimes where you got to get to the point with people to where it's just like you gotta, find a place or get to a point where you got to be done with certain people at certain times because they're just not good for they're not good for your brand. They're not good for your future. They're not good for where you're trying to go and who you're trying to be. So you got to be okay with being without certain people in your life. I think that's the biggest lesson that we got to learn from these situations.
Absolutely. Great job, guys. I appreciate all the insight and feedback. We need more of that. We need people like really this show to kind of talk to people, give them a different perspective. So the fun in the games is all good. I like to shoot, but at the end of the day, like these are people that have opportunities to change generations. And it's bigger than a night or a IG Live or any of that stuff. So thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. We're going into the weekend. We got a game tomorrow night, so not as long of a break.
But that Monday, we ain't,
predictions.
Friday, we don't get a game till Monday.
Well, we on Monday, so we might be watching the closeout game.
Oh yeah, like we did with the Lakers and the Nuggets. We might have to watch. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
I'm having parlays on the line too, man. So
you stuck with the parlays, huh?
You gave it up.
Leave MPJ alone. That's my guy, and that's the hard part. Now but Miami is hard to know who to bet on. Because every game is somebody different.
They're definitely
like outside of Bam.
Nobody outside of Bam. Everybody was just serious.
Jimmy had like 14 games.
Jimmy was disappointing game too.
But he's been over 20 the last couple games, all right.
One of them games, he's disappointing them. All right, real quick, predictions: Miami or Denver? Who y'all got winning this game?
I'm gonna go with Denver.
I think they're going to figure it out. Jimmy ain't going to let them go down 3-1. They'll figure it out. I don't know how.
Didn't you have the series 4-1, right?
That's why I want to pick.
I did
too. So that's why I want to pick Denver, but I'm with Ray. I think Miami's going to respond.
I think I'll be right if they – I definitely think I'm right if they lose.
So you basically trying to be right regardless.
Hedging your bet.
And this is crazy because I've been playing Miami all playoffs and they keep proving me wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong again, but I think Gabe, Max, they gonna come ready. They're gonna come ready. And I don't know what Denver could potentially get complacent. I didn't like how they came out game 2. So for those reasons, I'm gonna go Miami, but I will be watching.
Yeah, I'm going Miami too.
I'm a backpedal. I'm gonna go ahead and get my prime on. Denver got this one. And if Denver win Friday, series over with.
Oh yeah, no question about it. And I think this is Miami's last stand, so I think that they respond because they that again that Heat culture, man. When their back is against the wall, that's when they come out swinging. So
UD gonna give him a good speech now.
See,
all right, I thought you had to do
it, man. Good night.
I'm going Miami. And I'm saying they shoot above 40% from the 3-point line.
Yeah, and
almost
40%. I'm solo tomorrow.
That was the other thing. I think Miami's gonna shoot the ball a lot better on tomorrow. So,
Chris, before we go, I gotta ask, what's UD's over under in points?
Oh my! Good night.
He's not even. Look, he's not even. He doesn't even show up.
I know.
Why, man? Just unnecessary shots. Man. Just unnecessary.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he was starting on the Wizards.
I'm out.
He'd be a rotational player on the Wizards.
This guy, man, so
He'll rotate
to the
OG.
OG.
Rotate on the floor so he can get the wet spots up.
See, good night.
Yeah.
And the keys, tempo, hey time, let's go.
We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing. Getting with the coverage, we loving it all day. Picking up the news, tell us wherever the ball lay. With the NFL, NBA, they box so. Sports news in the hands of a man with fair takes. Tell them, coach, statistics and realness that's being spoke. Either hit it for the win or they hitting the goal posts. Either way, we woke up to the news of the day. Any kid could call it, he like to talk it out with Ray. Fast breaks down the lane, they better move out the way, or they pulling from perimeter. Curry, bury the trade, yeah, they got it. Woo! Duval with the hottest, Chris and Dev like the master, and mix it up like it's Logic being modest. They been looking for that real, trying to get it feel. Sports podcast, they running back on the real, that's a steal, yeah. They never sick, but they ill. Real sports talk going, deliver, signed and sealed. We bring that real talk when it comes to sports, covering the news, giving you the truth. Nothing but that real on hoops in the league. All things NFL, we don't miss a thing.